sex. I got this brand new flavored cigarette. Keep it on the down low. Never caught rob banks with a magic marker. Keep it on the down low. Red lips, double feature, making out underneath the bleachers. You're a charm, you're a lover. I got some handcuffs hiding in the cupboard. Keep it on the down low. They got me doing origami in the pawn shop. Keep it on the down low. Hey mom, keep it down. Try to rock it in the basement of the crowd. Call the cops, staying up. There's a stripper in the corner waking up. Keep it on the down low. Candy cane, safe sex. I got this brand new flavored cigarette. Keep it on the down low. Never caught rob banks with a magic marker. Keep it on the down low. Red lips, double feature, making out underneath the bleachers. You're a charm, you're a lover. I got some handcuffs hiding in the cupboard. Keep it on the down low. They got me doing origami in the pawn shop. Keep it on the down low.
Yo! What's going on? I'm here. It's noon Eastern time, 12 p.m. How you guys doing out there? Yo! What's going on? I'm here. It's noon. Okay, I gotta mute the I guess it's on a little bit of a delay here. So, like I said, this is only my second live stream. Thank you for joining me. My name's Mike from 424 Recording. I'm just testing out some features with YouTube Live, and I want to see what the capabilities of this are. So we did one yesterday because I had some extra time. Today again, I had some more extra time, so I said, you know what? Let's do it. I don't know. I figured, the more you do something multiple days in a row, the more it sticks. So I'm getting older, and my brain doesn't work as well. So I got to practice every day. So here we go. Hey McFly, you're looking a little yellow. Seriously, can't see your pretty face. There you are. Oh, good one, good one. I thought you meant the the video was too yellow. Thanks, John. So are you guys out of work now? I tried to start a little later for the folks in the UK because I know some of you guys were disappointed that you weren't able to catch the stream yesterday. So I figure it's like 5 there, right? In the UK? I don't know. I tried to look up on Google what the time difference was. Hey, Twin, thanks for coming through again, man. What up with you? Multi-track cassette fans is in the house. Trying to see. Oh, wait a second. Okay, so let me see if I can get the live chat to pop out. It's 1800 in the Netherlands. Wow, okay. So 6? Is that 6? Yeah, 6 p.m. Wait a second here. Let me just get this chat thing set up because I think I set it up on the wrong spot on my thing. Like I said, I'm still learning how to do this, so bear with me for one moment here. All right, so this is the window. Display capture. Well, I think if I just leave that in there. I just wanted to make it so people could read it when it comes through again. Let me try. And then I think I gotta... Uh-oh, what happened? No, I know what happened. I gotta just get this... Crop it to the window. Let's see what happens there. Sorry guys, bear with me for 1 second. Yeah, I'm trying to get this window to be in the right spot here. All right, chill with that. I guess if I just keep this here, that should work. All right, guys, so what's going on? Thank you for everybody in the Netherlands for showing up, in the UK. Wanted to do another stream to just test some things out and take some more questions and just hang out, really. Trying to figure out just more on how to use the live streaming features of YouTube. So, you know, trial by fire, okay? So, what are you guys doing? What are you guys up to? How's things going? What are you working on? Let's chat. Yesterday I talked a little bit about my gassing issues with gear acquisition syndrome and things I'm trying to get. So, or you know, I'm looking at the Analog Rhythm Mark II from Electron, and today I just wanted to show up for my buds in the UK and see what you guys are up to, because Joel and John and a couple of you guys reached out, sent me a couple of emails saying, yo, when are you going to be doing this again? Because we wanted to be there. My computer is tripping. I hope it's not too loud. I think it's just not used to doing so much. That's okay though. Hopefully it's not too loud. Alright, so hopefully y'all can see the... well, like I said, I'm still trying to figure out... Oh, that's not the right one. I'm just still trying to figure out... Okay, there we go. I can see it in the background there. Let me just... Alright, I think that's good. Yeah, that should be good. Cool. Alright. So like I said, I'm still trying to figure out the best way to do this on my end, so thank you for bearing with me. But so what's going on? What's going on with you guys? Any new 4-track encounters? Any new 4-track acquisitions? You know, I am just chilling out. I had a little extra time again today to hang with y'all, so this is looking good. The stream health is looking good. All right, awesome. So you guys have any questions? Yesterday we got into a whole list of questions and we were rapid fire going through stuff, and then I had a bounce, so kind of want to try to continue that today, but we'll just see where things go. I think we may have a special guest with us today. I should probably text him and see what he's doing. If you were watching yesterday, you may be able to figure out who it is. Whoops. Sorry, my computer's freaking out. Is that really loud? Is my computer super loud in the background? Just let me know, because I might not use this again. So, yeah. It's about noon today in the U.S. Eastern Time. I gotta try to figure out a good time when I'm going to be doing this on the regular. Like I said, Jay is going to be coming out at some point with me to do a Q&A. I'm going to try to do something with him once a week, and you know, see what's going down. So, all right, we got a couple questions streaming in here, so let's see what we got. I've listened to some Electron Mark II demos on YouTube today. Nice sounding piece of gear, but I wasn't convinced it fits with your Be Cool Cowboy songs. That's really interesting. Yeah, I'm trying to do something different, you know? I'm trying to go more into an electronic type realm with that. Ever since I started using the DM1 drum machine, it's really been... it's just really been changing the way I've been thinking about stuff. Let me move this thing because I'm afraid that it's super loud. I don't want it to be like insanely loud for you guys. So maybe if I move it over here, I think my computer's getting really hot. But yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. I wanted to try to do something new or come up with a new band or just a new side project. Some of the stuff I was doing was kind of getting them to be a little bit more electronic on the new album, and that some of my friends like Tim and Brian were saying the song "Hitler Youth Haircut" was one of their favorites, which is a song that's just about I don't know, like the electronic music scene a little bit, and some people I know, and I don't know, just like kind of tongue in cheek, you know. So, but yeah, that's a good point. Thank you, MCF. Um, I kind of wanted to try something new. You know, I've been in the guitar four-track realm for a long time, and I really like my mini log, and I really like the DM1 drum machine. So I've been trying to think about ways of challenging myself as an artist, which I think is something. I'm wondering, you know, what do you guys do? Do you get new instruments? Do you get a new device? Do you get a new guitar? Do you borrow stuff to keep the inspiration flowing? You know, because sometimes you get tired of the stuff you have. I mean, that's why we wind up acquiring a lot of gear. At least that's why I do. So I don't know. A good point though. I don't know. I really want to try to do something new. I got some new ideas for band names, more in that realm, and I want to just try to perform it in a little bit different way. Maybe come at it from a different angle or something. Oh, there goes my mailman, Andy. What up, Andy? I don't think he can see me, but I say hi to him every day anyway when I'm here. So that's a good point. Um, okay, Davia. I think you were here yesterday, right? Have you ever listened to Alessandro Cortini? He uses Tascam Porter Studio with synth, some interesting ambient stuff. Actually, he performs with Nine Inch Nails, right? I've seen that one video on YouTube, and then where he has different chords on different tracks, and then he plays the chords. Like that's a really cool. And apparently, I guess there's a lot of different Nine Inch Nails tracks where they incorporate, or Alessandro incorporates the. I think he has a. What did you say it was? A four. Oh, I'm not sure. It's either a 414 or a 424 or a Porta. But yeah, that's really cool. That's something I want to try to doing too. It reminds me actually of a band. I think they're from Germany, Klingerholt. I think that's how you say it. They've reached out to me a couple times, and that's kind of what they do too. Is use this all four tracks in their performance. And that's kind of where I'm getting at with the Electron too. Is I want to kind of try to do more stuff in that vein, and just experiment more. So maybe I can do that with my four track. You know, maybe I can load up some sounds and kind of follow Alessandro's lead with that. Or maybe, you know, maybe there's some more videos. I know Reverb.com recently did a video with Alessandro about the same thing. It's a little more depth, a little more better quality. So that's really cool. But yeah, I have seen some of the stuff that Alessandro has done. Never heard his solo stuff. But yeah, I gotta check that out. That's really cool. Twin reverbs. So thank you for bringing that up, Davia. That's cool. I'm gonna make a note of that. Let me get my notebook. This is where I keep my notebook. All right. So we're gonna write down Alessandro. Cortini. I'm gonna look more into that and stuff like that. That's cool. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, so twin reverbs. My 424 hasn't gotten much use since I got my 488 frowny face. I've been thinking of picking up a sitar. Cool. That's sweet. I know there's like pedals that can emulate a sitar, or you can get like a 12 string that can sound like that, or I think like the Pog, EHX Pog can do stuff like that. I think that's the right one. I think I have that one. It's kind of embarrassing that I don't even know the stuff that I have. But why is that frowny face for you, twin? That you haven't gotten much use since the 488. I'd be curious to know. Sorry, Porta Pro. Oh, Porta Pro. I'm assuming that's the model, Davia. MCF with the thumbs up. All right, Stego is back. Stego, I hope you're not driving your van right now, buddy. I've been working on a bedroom project while my band Lemon Haze are on a bit of a hiatus. We've been using an electronic kit with left and rights into a mixing desk, okay? We also have guitar, bass, and backing track going through the mixer. The left and right out of the mixer go into channel 1 and 2 on the 424. It sounds fucking class. That's awesome. So left and right go into channel 1 and 2. Cool. So are you going to be adding any overdubs, or are you going to be adding additional tracks, or what's your plan with that, Stego? Thanks for coming again, Steve. That's awesome. That sounds cool. That's a great way to do it. Because a lot of people ask about how they can sum down channels on the 424, and that's a great example right there if you read through Stego's setup. And you can also use the, I don't know if you've ever used the sub input on the back of the 424. That also does the same thing as what you're doing with channel 1 and 2, so check it out. John, in the live chat from yesterday, buddy. I'm glad you can make it out. I recently discovered my old Tascam 414. I'm thinking of doing another EP this year using it, a la Elliott Smith. Nice. What do you know about this unit? It seems a bit more limited than the 424. John, as luck would have it, Jay has recently he dug up his old one, and somebody also just gave him another one. So I'm actually going to be getting a 414 very soon, so I'll be able to help you, or we could work on some stuff together. I think it is a bit more limited. I think some of the features of it are a little bit, I don't want to say archaic, like the sliders I think are a bit different. They seem to be a little more, I don't know, I don't want to say janky, but let me just look at it so I know I'm referencing the right one, because I don't want to pretend like I know what I'm talking about, and then I hate when people do stuff like that. Yeah, right. So this is the one. Jay actually got two 414s recently. He had his own that he found, and then somebody just gave him one. I don't know if they knew I was doing the channel, or one of his clients came through and said, "Hey, man, I got this 414. It's not doing anything with it." So I'm gonna pick the best one of those, and then since all you guys are here, exclusive inside look at what's coming up. There's going to be Tascam 414 videos. You know, I was going to keep that on the down low, but you know, just between us, now that you're here, you get the inside scoop. So, John, thanks for bringing that up. And so let's take a quick look at the 414. Right. So, I mean, I guess the meters are separated to each track. I think it pretty much has the same capability. I'll do a comparison video too. I'll get that from Jay like ASAP. I mean, it's pretty much the same setup. It just looks like a little bit in a little bit different of a format. I'm not sure what the main. It looks like 5 and 6 is the same as 7 and 8 input wise. They're just stereo inputs. It looks like you're probably going to be able to record less channels with it at the time, but all the input features are the same. The trim is different on it. It's sliders versus the knobs. I personally like the knobs better for that kind of a thing, and I'm not sure. I'm trying to get a side view of it. I can't remember if this one has what inputs. Oh, okay, yeah. So it has two XLRs. So the routing will be a little bit different. 424 has XLRs along the back. So let me just check my live stream health, because my computer's slowing down a little bit, or it doesn't sound as crazy, so I'm worried that it dropped, but it's looking good. So, all right, I hope that quieted down for you guys. I don't know how loud it was. Hopefully it wasn't too bad. All right, so we're going to minimize this. Yeah, so 414, I'm going to be having a couple. Anybody that just joined us, this is Mike from 424recording.com. It's my YouTube channel, 424 Recording. We're just having a live Q&A session. I'm testing out my live streaming capabilities, just testing out how to use this, trying to learn how to do something new every day. That's a personal goal of mine for 2018. Yesterday, we had a Canadian bud come through, and his name was Etienne, I believe, and that was a word that I never knew how to pronounce, and now that I know what it means, like I said, you learn something every day, and this is something I'm working on for myself, so, okay. John, I hope that answers your question. That's going to be awesome. I hope you do make an album a la L.A. Smith, and I hope that I too will get a working 414 from Jay. There's two of them, so we'll see what happens, and we'll do some comparisons, and we'll go all out, as they say. So, all right, Stego, yeah, mate, overdubs will be added. Cool, man. I heard you talking about the sub input yesterday. I'll check it out. Yeah, do that. I think that'll help you out. It'll just give you more capabilities. It'll allow you to. It sends the signal of your mixer to the master fader of the 424. And you can record in mono or stereo, but it's basically doing the same thing, but it's just another way you can do it. And it maybe if you experiment with it, you can figure out something that'll work better for your setup. I don't know. Check it out. Kind of the same thing. There's a lot of different. That's the thing with the 424s and the machines. You know, there's no one right way to do stuff. You can do it any way you want. I think that's kind of the beauty of that of those machines. You know, they say that in the manual. I mean. The manual says right out, so there's no wrong way to do routing or set up effects or record. You know, it's just, there's just multiple routes to getting to the same end. So, all right, it's the Mark III. Oh, Mark III 414. I wasn't aware that there was different ones. Let me just let me pop that up one more time here. 414 Tascam Mark 3. I think that was the one I was looking at. So, oh yeah. It's the same one as, same color scheme as the 424 Mark III. Yep, that's the one. Jay has two of those, so that's gonna be cool. All right, so cool. Let's see where we left off with the commenting. Thanks everybody for showing up too again today. I know. I mean, like I said, I was trying to do this in a later part of the day on the East Coast, and when I was going to be here. And also so I could hang out with my UK bros and buds. So thanks guys. John, thank you. Thanks for that. That's a great comment. I'm excited to get the 414 and start doing some vids. 414 is a nice thing. I own the Mark 1. That's sick, MCF. What do you? It's very, very light. Do you have any other? Do you know any other differences between the 414 and the 424 MCF? Like, let us know in the comments or. You know, hit it up. All right, Twin Reverbs. Thanks again, Twin, for coming again. Since I brought my 488 into our band's rehearsal space, my 424 has been pretty much just collecting dust. All of my XLRs and mics are at our space, so until we finish recording, my 424 is on hiatus. Gotcha. I mean, that's cool, man. I mean, you know, so that's what happens. Sometimes you use certain stuff, and sometimes use other things. I mean, that happens all the time with me with clothing, and you know, some days I'll wear the same thing all the time, like I pretty much do all the time, and then I'll find another jacket I like to wear and I'll do that, you know. Same thing with recording gear and guitars, and it's one moment you'll be into you know, your Stratocaster, and then the next day you'll be playing a Gibson or something, you know. That's cool. Let it just flow the way it goes, man. Because the 488 gives you more inputs, right? Okay. It's just sitting. It's just sad seeing it sitting on my desk, not getting used. Yeah, that's my thing too with my stuff, you know. And that's why I've been trying to do a lot of stuff on gas and gear acquisition syndrome, and trying to sell things. And I wouldn't say I ever had like a serious problem with that, but I think it's really sad too to see like stuff that's just, like you said, collecting dust. I mean, it would be great to have a purpose for all this stuff, or to have it being used. And that's why I think when you're acquiring stuff and getting stuff, you know, you want to try to get something you're going to use every day. I think that's my personal philosophy, and something you're going to have for a long time. And that's yesterday we were talking about that. I think Twin, you were asking me if I was going to get a 488, and I really would like to experiment with those, but it's the same deal. It's like I already have the 424, and I have the Just see. Nice. Okay. I'm waiting for our guest. I was hoping maybe he would show up. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's another reason I don't want to get a 488 myself, because I'm worried that I'm going to get it and I'm just going to sit around collecting dust. I'm not going to use it that much. Because I have a 424 and I have a 424 Mark III. And I used to have a 424 Mark II, but I sold it. But I might get another one for the sake of the channel, but if I see one locally or something. But yeah, I agree. It's sad when you have gear that's not getting used. It's kind of like old toys or something that just sit in your basement, you know. It's like somebody could be playing with those, or, you know, at one point you had so much fun with them. Let me just quickly, starting a cassette label soon. Stay cool, nerds. Hey, Witch Ape Studio, what's going on? That's great to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. I've been kind of taking a little hiatus myself from Instagram and social media. I don't know if you guys realize I'm kind of bad at that stuff. But yo, it's good to see you. Maybe we'll send you some stuff, Witch Ape. What time? I guess you're on the West Coast, right? What is it? 3 hours behind, so 9:30. Wow, you're up early. Awesome, man. Thanks for coming through. This is really cool. Okay, so where did we leave off here? It's amazing how clean a 4-track can sound with a metal tape. What types of cassettes do you use? I've been using the Type 2s. The ones that I have them. I get the ones from National Audio Company. I've done a couple videos. We did a couple giveaways. They're just I think the Chrome mastering tapes, and they sound great. We had somebody asking yesterday about Type 4 tapes, and I've never used them. Maybe they sound great too. I'm just a little bit wary to use those in my stuff because I'm worried that it's going to mess up the machine, or I don't know. They're very specific in the manual, and like I said, I'm by the book with some of this stuff, and I don't want to mess up my my 424. But yeah, John, let's collaborate. We're 21 hours ahead. That's good. That's very specific. I like that. I never thought about it that way. That's funny. That's really funny. You know, sometimes you hear something that just completely changes the way you think about something. Yeah. At the risk of being a shameless self-promoter, I'd love you guys to check out this song. Hit it up. It's all good. Throw it in there. Let's check it out. I missed a couple here. So, what types of cassettes you use? I use the $7.99 Studio Masters from National Audio Company. I will plug them for the rest of my days as a 4-track recorder. Great tapes. They're a little on the expensive side as far as tapes go, but they've never done me wrong, and they last a long time, and you can record over stuff, and you get 10 of them, I think, for like $40. So they're like 4 a tape, and then I think they're shipping, but great people over there. I heard a rumor that they may be discontinuing them. I still haven't followed up on that. You just reminded me. Actually, I'm going to write that down. Follow up with Knack on Type 2s. Alright, so we'll do that because that's important. But those are the ones that I use. There's a couple videos, if you check out the old videos about the giveaways, and just in all the videos you can see them in the machines when I'm doing stuff. And I love them. They're the great shells, and you know that becomes part of the machine the more you leave it in there. So it's important to have a good shell and a good tape, because like if you use the wrong tapes or you use some like thrift store, you know, Ghostbusters tape or something, it's gonna it could shed in there. So, and it's just gonna cause you more problems in the long run if you use ones that are not specific for the machine. But you know, your mileage may vary. I don't want to be the end all be all, but that's what I do, and I would recommend that. It won't let me post a link. Oh well. What about John? What about, do you have something we can Google, or your band name or something? You look like a she-male. Thanks. let's see. Yeah, John. See if you can post a link to that, or like something we can Google. It's on YouTube. John Paul Dove Enemies. All right, we'll scope it. Um, Mini shoot. I'm gonna say peace, bro. Um, because I don't know what you're up to or what you're trying to do, but we got to moderate this. You know, so far we've had all really good stuff, but I don't know if that really contributes to the conversation we're having. So, peace, bro. Cool. All right. Well, let's see what else we got going on here. What else can we talk about? Any of you guys new today have any experience with the Electron gear, anything, the machine drum, other types of stuff? I'm beginner. Okay, Davia's got some stuff coming in. All right, John. If you guys want to check out John's stuff, it's on YouTube, John Paul Dove Enemies. I'm going to check it out after the live stream, just because my computer is freaking out. I don't know how great the audio is going to be, but we'll check it out. We'll post it in the comments for people in the future to check it out, and we'll let you know, John. John, do you have any specific things you want us to listen for? Do you want like constructive criticism? Do you just want some ears on it? Are you mixing it? Like what? Or you just want to get your stuff out there? He was right about the male part, not so much about the she. Thanks, John. Yeah, that's just so strange, you know, that people do that kind of stuff. To me, I don't know. It's like we're just here having fun, doing our thing, and then, you know, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's not offensive to me, but it's just like, come on, like, why do you gotta do stuff? Why do people do that? You know, it's like maybe I'm too sensitive, or maybe people are just trolls, which is true. But whatever. Thanks though, John. I appreciate that. So let us know, John. What are you looking for? Just ears, constructive criticism, etc. I'm a beginner at recording, have a Tascam 44 Mark III without a power supply, so at the moment searching for it, but, oh, that's right, I remember you saying that yesterday. There's no video for complete rookies, how to connect cables, and what about the monitors? Is it possible to connect simple speakers through amplifier, or must I have the monitors? Through amplifier. Well, there's a couple different ways you can do. I mean, some monitors are powered monitors that you plug in, and you know, then you just hook them up through whatever type of cables. Usually I use RCAs because usually monitors will have XLR input, quarter-inch input, or RCA input, so it's pretty much whatever cables you have, and if they're powered, then you don't have to worry about it. If you just have speakers and an amplifier, like a stereo setup, you can, same deal, take an RCA, I think, out from the stereo, and you can probably plug that into the monitor output. Oh no, take the monitor output of the 4-track and plug that into the stereo, and then depending on where you have plugged in, set the stereo to tape or CD or whatever RCA input, and then you should be able to hear it through that as well. And there's a couple earlier videos that I have. I gotta figure out a better playlist system. I don't know if it's me and the videos being unorganized, but check out some of the playlists on the channel. I did a couple RCA cable videos. I did a couple connections and different plugs and everything. So yeah, check it out. Yeah, let's see. But I'll keep that in mind on the way forward with more videos and testing stuff out. Aaron, have you released anything on cassette? I did have a few cassettes of Me and the Machine, which is the first thing I did. And I did some of the songs on the 424. The song A Little Wiser, notably, was done on that. I had some other stuff that I recorded to 4-track, but never got around to releasing it. Mainly because I just didn't have the cash at the time to... Okay, well, two things, really. Just make sure the stream's doing good. Okay, we're going good. Two things, really. I didn't have the cash to put out the tapes. And secondly, most importantly, over time of being a musician, I don't want to sound jaded, but I put out stuff where I made 100 copies, or I don't think I ever did 1,000, but like, how it goes. You make a bunch of copies, and then I still have drawers and closets and boxes full of stuff, like CDs and not tapes, but and luckily not any more vinyl. But that was a long time ago. But how it is. You make stuff and then it sits around. So I've been trying to do stuff. I'm gonna start doing releases. Aaron, thank you for bringing this up. I want to start releasing tapes. I'm just gonna dub them myself here, and then sell them, I guess, on my Bandcamp or something, or I'll sell them on the 424 Bandcamp. I don't know. I just, I don't know. I went through a weird phase where I sold off a bunch of my equipment, and just, I don't know. I just like was more into it and thinking about getting into it, and then I'm like, well, I don't really have, if I make 100 tapes, I'm gonna sell like, 10 of them, and then have 90 of them sitting around, and then it's like, tapes are cheap to put out, but I just getting to a point where I was moving around a lot, and I'm just like kind of a minimalist. So I don't want to have like a ton of stuff, and I don't know. So I guess your question is really making me question a lot of things about myself, and but no, I mean, I don't have anything anymore on cassette. I have released stuff, but really just for friends or copies of stuff. If you want me to make you a copy of something, I'll be more than happy to do that. And I think I would do that more again in the future. And I made short runs of stuff and then given them out or sold them to people. But it really just comes down to the like money, and if I knew like, boom, I was gonna like sell 100 of them. If I had a fan base of people that were gonna get them, then yeah, I would definitely make them. I think that's something important as an artist, because otherwise, like, you can lose a lot of momentum if you wind up making something and then, I don't know, you spend so much time and effort to make it and then sell a few copies. It's like, I don't know. I guess I feel like it's kind of backwards today, and maybe that's just my thing, but I think for me, my strategy with my releases is just to put stuff out online and have people find it that way, and then if a growing demand of people say, hey, Mike, what up with tapes? What up with 7-inch? What up with a CD? And if I was playing live more like I used to, I would probably have more merch. But it's a good question. I don't know. I'm kind of jaded. Part of it is like, I think what Twin was saying, with stuff sitting around, it makes me sad. And I don't know, man. I don't want to, I don't know. This is probably not, you probably didn't mean for this to be this kind of a conversation about this. But yes, I have released stuff on cassette. I'll just leave it at that. The mail part, yeah. I don't know. I still don't get it. Okay, absolutely. Constructive criticism is welcome. The EP is called My Son, the Brawler. Cool. So if you guys want to check out John's stuff, it's just Google it and leave some comments on there for him. Okay, Twin, are vintage mics necessary for getting a 60s sound? Can you be more specific? I don't think so. No. I think, especially in terms of drums, it's going to come down to the tuning and more of the mic placement than having vintage mics. In my experience or my mind, just checking my stream health. We're looking good. Because my computer, like I said, my computer is going through these phases of being really loud and now being soft. So I'm like, what if I'm just talking to myself into the void? Which would be kind of funny, because that happens sometimes on phones where you're talking to somebody and then they cut out and you're talking to them. You don't hear them for like 5 minutes, and then you realize, wait, they went into the dead zone. So, are vintage mics necessary for getting a 60s sound? Short answer is no. Depends on I think it depends more on the equipment and this. If your band has a 60s sound, like if you are doing like a surf rock thing or something from that era, like psych rock, or Beatles, style, Kinks or whatever, it's like, I think it's more going to depend more on what your band sounds like than having specific gear. Obviously, if you're trying to get a 60s sound, but you're using like a analog rhythm or something, and maybe, it's a little out of era. So I would say if you want to get a 60s sound, figure out what about that era is compelling and incorporate that into your music. Drums, I think there are very easy ways to look up, what is, or listen to stuff you like, recording technology in the 60s was pretty, I don't want to say primitive. I mean, obviously they had a lot of cool stuff, but it was a much different strategy, like think about some of those Beatles albums where they use like one mic on Ringo's kit, and it comes down to, the tuning of his kit, how he played it, the style he played in, and the mic placement of where it was, what was at their disposal. So I don't think you need to get the specific vintage mic, whatever they used back then on, say, Ringo's kit. I'm just using Beatles as an example because it's one of the first things I'm thinking about. But anything from that era, I would say it's going to come down more to your sound and how you tune your drums. I feel like there's distinctive sounds, drum sounds for decades, and for instance, like 70s, you want to get like a Bonham sound, then that's a specific, drum sound that is from that era that I immediately think of when somebody said, "What's a 70s drum sound?" Or you start to think about like funk stuff, or So it really depends what you're going for. I think in terms of drums, in terms of guitars, if you want a 60s sound, maybe snag a blackface Fender, maybe snag a Silverface, maybe snag some old Vox gear, get a Strat, get guitars from that era, write stuff in that vein. The mics, I don't think the mics are going to matter too much because in today's stuff you can dirty stuff up, or I'm sure there's filters you can go on and EQ curves and all sorts of stuff you can add to a sound to make it sound. I'm sure there's a 60s preset in some of these, 60s preset in some of these plugins, you know what I mean? So to answer your question, sorry, that was really a long diatribe. No, you don't need, I don't think you need vintage equipment. Some people may disagree, but I think you can get that sound with, it's going to come down to more what you sound like. And, if you're like a 90s indie rock band and you want a 60s sound, then, if you sound like, I don't know, Soundgarden or something that's like a 90s band, like of course you're not going to sound like the 60s because your band is a grunge band, you know what I mean? So I hope that makes sense. Okay, so well, we're using vintage gear except the drums and playing acid rock. Cool. We have a ribbon mic on the drums, a condenser on the bass cab, and 2 dynamic mics on the guitars. For 60s sound, I'd play with mic distances, especially with drums. Oh, okay, so that's multi-track, that's MCF. Okay, so cool. Yeah, I mean, ribbon mic is great. I've always found that they really sound like what your room sounds like, and it sounds, I'd say like the most real to me, or the most. My buddy Chris has one that we've messed with, and he always said that was like the best drum sound he's ever gotten when we like set that up and tuned his kit and it sounds cool. Those are great mics. That's a good point too. Maybe go with more dynamic or ribbon mics with a darker sound, or adjust your EQs to roll off the highs. Because you're going to be looking. I think you're going to be looking to get more of that darker sound. That's cool though, acid rock. That's awesome. So is that I'm assuming, yeah, that sounds cool. Is that like really slowed, like slow kind of like sludgy, like Sabbath sort of stuff? Let me know, Twin. I'm curious. John Dove. I once heard someone say if it is a good song, it'll be a great recording. If the song is weak, but the production is great, it's just polished shit. I'm excited about what you guys are doing. Yeah, man. Totally. That is, that's one of the pillars of my recording philosophy and just my life in general. It's with the saying you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. It's like, I think that's just a great point for the entire channel and for everybody watching, or the philosophy of the channel is, and that's something I say in a lot of the videos too, and that's why I am still a champion of 4-track cassette recording, because I mean, again, I recently reviewed Roman Candle on the channel, Elliott Smith's first album, and that was done on a 4-track, and what makes it great is the fact that Elliott Smith is an amazing songwriter. It would have sounded great no matter what he recorded on. Like look at some of the early Rolling Stones stuff. There's songs where it's like the way that they were recorded is like, in today's standard of get the tape measure out and scientific recording, people would say that this is, I can't believe you did this. Like, this sounds terrible. I mean, some of the stuff objectively, you could argue that the earlier Stones stuff doesn't sound very good. But it's the Rolling Stones. The Rolling Stones were sitting in my room right now on this live stream camera and fucking playing. Mick Jagger was singing and playing, and these dudes were rocking out. It's like, of course it's gonna sound amazing because it's the Rolling Stones. Like, it comes down to, well, if you like Rolling Stones, then you'll think it sounds amazing. It's like, it comes down to like songwriting and what you're writing and writing great songs. And that's something I argue all the time. And I think, in terms of great producers and great engineers, it's like, I think what makes great engineers is great artists. It comes down to who these people have worked with in the past. It's like, that's what's going to make a great sound and recording. And obviously, you need somebody that knows how to work the equipment, and that they're going to bring their edge to it and their quality. And that's, I don't mean to discredit that or minimize that, but any artist, or what's going to make you a great artist is being a good songwriter. It's not going to matter if you record it on your iPhone. It's not going to matter if you record it on your 4-track or if you record in a huge studio. Like, yeah, there's going to be different degrees of quality, but great song is a great song is a great song is a great song, into infinity. So that's what I think. But I mean, if you disagree, let me know. I'd be curious if you don't. But I think it's true. The song is weak, but the production is great. It's just polished shit. That's what John's hearsay there says. But it's true. I don't know. I think that's a really good point. Alex Goldstein, message retracted. I don't know what he said, but if you got something, let us know. The video of the vocals through the old PV amps is a great example. Creativity beats gear every time. There you go. Yeah, that's a great sounding amp, and it adds to the sound, the vocal sound, that's just like a Strokes trick that I picked up or read about, and I don't know. I personally really like Julian Casablancas' vocals, and his vocals are great. And going through the amp, they're great. It's like, whether he sings through that amp or whether he just sings, I personally like the sound of it. It's going to enhance it, obviously, and give it a certain vibe. But it's also his performance, his vocals. It's not like him singing is dependent on it going through that amp. Like, he has a cool voice, and that enhances it. But he's starting with something that is cool, or starting with something that's stylized, and going from there. So, Twin, nah, it's like 60s psych, like rock and roll if you were tripping face on LSD, Jefferson Airplane, 13th floor elevators kind of sound. Cool. Do you like the band Love? Have you ever heard that band? Forever Changes. It's a great album. That's kind of like, I mean, it's not, I don't think it's as trippy, but that's some cool stuff. So some of my favorite acoustic guitars ever. I should do a video on that. I'm glad to be part of this community. You guys inspire me. Thanks, John. Thank you for being here, man. Bringing a lot to this conversation. I really appreciate you and appreciate you being here. Sorry, was spell correction and Belgian. This inspires me. Haha. Awesome, dude. That's sweet. Thank you, Alex. Thank you for being here. Thank you for... that inspires me, inspiring you. That's the whole reason I wanted to start this channel was, recording, also to inspire other creative people, because and find other creative people, like-minded people to collaborate with and get ideas from, and that's what it's all about. So thank you, Belgium. That's awesome. So I'm assuming it's probably like the same time. I guess we're rolling up on 1 o'clock Eastern, but I'm assuming it's probably 5 or 6 over there, or 7. Okay, Harris, what up? Any tips or advice for recording an entire album with just one microphone? That sounds awesome. I would say do that. I think there's oh man, I can't think of that sucks. This always happens to me. It's one of the Elephant Six bands. I don't know if you're into that stuff. I was just listening to some of the songs yesterday. I think one of the albums, think it's, oh man, why is this happening? Oh, of Montreal. There's an album they did, Cherry. I can't. I'm like having a total blank right now, but I think one of those albums that Of Montreal recorded, the early albums, was all recorded with like an SM57 or um, a Bayer or something, and the whole mic. That's how it was recorded. Was just, I mean, the whole album. That's how it was recorded with one mic. So maybe if you want to get some inspiration from that, um, yeah, I would just say walk around like with drums and one mic, walk around your room, figure out where's a good spot, try over your shoulder because if you as a drummer like the sound of it, you're gonna like where that mic is placed most likely. I would say don't get too caught up in the process and just go for it. Just run and gun. Don't think about it too much. And pick a mic, maybe like I don't know, maybe try an SM57, or pick something strange and like a ribbon or something, or a kick drum mic. Who knows? Like you could just try something really bizarre or really not bizarre, but just very different, and mic stuff up and see where it goes. Um, that sounds cool. So I'm assuming you mean like multi-tracking. So I would just get a good sounding dynamic and you know go from there. And so do you mean like where are you gonna do direct in though? Because I would say like you could do the bass direct in. Um, you could do the guitar direct in. It depends though. If you want to just do strictly mics or one mic, then yeah, I would get some amps, get some small amps or whatever you got access to, and get your sounds right before you record them. And make sure you use like get your distances the way that you want to mix it, kind of. If you want stuff up close, go up close. If not, you want more room sound, go back. I think that would be a great. I think that would be a great test for everybody to do. Record an album or record a song with one mic. That'll really get you thinking differently and give you maybe some new ideas for inspiration. Stego, there's an interview with Noel Gallagher. He said he wanted a 60s sounding snare for the Oasis track, Meaning of Soul. So they put a cornflake box on the snare and used two wooden spoons as sticks. Right. That's pretty cool. So, I mean, to me, that says they were going for kind of like a 60s boxy kind of sound, which I think is a sound that's coming back. A lot of new drum sounds that I enjoy, that I like. I think like Grizzly Bear comes to mind. I don't know. It's like a lot of new bands. They have a drum sound that's very dead sounding, which sounds awesome. Everything sounds very boxy, very boomy, very 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 dead. And because I personally can't stand the ring of like a snare drum, so to me, I think that's what it sounds like if they use a cornflake box and the wooden sticks. They're just trying to deaden that top head and probably just get it to be very boxy sounding in a good way. What about your guitar? The lipstick pickup goes well with the distortion, and what you think about passive humbuckers? Oh, 1840s. Okay, cool. So it's 6:47 in Belgium. Cool. So you're in the same time zone as the Netherlands, I'm assuming. So what about your guitar? That lipstick pickup goes well with the distortion, and what you think about passive humbuckers? Okay, my guitar is that one over there, if you can see it. Let me just check my stream health, because I want to make sure that, oh wait, that's not it. Okay, we're still good. All right, minimize that. Okay, so stream health, no, I mean my guitar. So yeah, my guitar is that Silvertone. I mentioned it in a couple of videos, 1448. I think what gives it really good distortion is the hollow body nature of the guitar. It's made out of masonite, and it's sort of like a semi-hollow body. And I think that really gives it a good. There's just something magical about the overdrive and that pickup. But I think it's more of like the entire the pickup and the guitar body type. And to go along with distortion and to lead into the next question, what about passive humbuckers? I think those are great. Depends on what you're trying to do. 'Cause for a long time I liked, I like early Weezer stuff and Blue Album and Pinkerton and you know, and I was using a Stratocaster to try to get that sound. It never like sounded right, and what I realized was a lot of those sounds must have been recorded with humbuckers. And if you want that really distorted, fuzzy sound, I think you're going to want to go with more of a humbucker. Because single coils, I think, are cleaner. I mean, you can obviously use them for distortion. There's plenty of people who use them to do that, but I don't know. There's like a certain fuzzy element or fuzz sound that I think you can get out of humbuckers that you can't get out of other types of guitars. My guitar, I would say, is somewhere in the middle of like a Strat and a humbucker bass guitar, like a Gibson or something. But yeah, if you want to get like a really chunky, distorted sound, I would get a guitar with humbuckers. And also, as a recording tip, something that took me a long time to realize was if you're double tracking guitars, use multiple types of guitars, meaning to get a really fat distortion sound, record a track with a Gibson or humbuckers and a second track with like a Strat with single coils, and try different amps. Live using two different amps can be amazing if the amps are different. Like, so say I have a Fender Champ, and I used to use a Marshall, or I've been wanting to get a small JCM 800 for live, and the combination of those two amps, because they're very different sounding. Sometimes you see bands and they have similar equipment with the same people, and I guess if you're going for a similar sound between the guitars, but a lot of to get a really full sounding guitar sound, especially on a recording or live, go through two amps, different amps, split your signal, and depending on what you're going for distortion wise, check out a humbucker. Like I said, Silvertone seems kind of in the middle. It can get pretty fuzzy, but there's still like a chunky or low end that I think Gibsons can get. That, like I said, it's probably somewhere in the middle of the fuzz spectrum, with Strat on one side, Gibson, and my guitar's probably somewhere in the middle. So I hope that answers your question, David. Good question. Aaron, Richard Swift has a song called Lady Luck that was recorded on a 4-track. It sounds like it has a lot more than 4 tracks, and I'm interested in ways people maximize tracks without a PC. Cool. Well, ping-ponging, bouncing, is where you essentially can do an infinite amount of bounces or add an infinite amount of tracks to your mix within the 4-track. So the basic idea is you'd have to probably do a mono mix, or you can do a stereo mix, but it's just going to not leave you as much room as you continue. So say you want to, I would say if you're, okay, let me back up. So ping pong recording is where you leave a track open or 2 tracks open and record. So say you're doing a drum, so say you were making an album and you wanted to do the whole thing on the 4-track, but you wanted to use like 10 tracks. So you had like a room sound and a kick drum and a snare, bass, guitar, a couple vocals, tambourine, whatever. So you would record your instruments one at a time. With the drums, you'd record, it would probably be a mono track unless you had overheads, and you'd record onto the first 3 tracks, leave the 4th track open, and then what you do is ping pong those 3 to the 1 open track. So then you'll have a mono mix of those 3 mics in the one on the 4th track. And then you can, as long as you like your mix, but this is where it's tricky, this is what people used to have to do, commit to that mono mix of the drums, and then re-record over track 1, 2, and 3. And now you record bass on track 1, record guitar on track 2, leave track 3 for your next mix, your next bounce down. So now you bounce down the mono drum mix and the 2 instruments onto track 3, and now you can re-record over that drum mono mix and the guitar and vocal, the guitar and bass. Now you do double track your vocals on 1 and 2, and put a tambourine track on 4, and maybe you just mix that down, and you don't have to bounce it anymore. But in that sense, as long as you leave 1 track open on your machine, you can infinitely ping pong generations of mixes onto that 1 track. But every time you do that, you're adding noise and then like a certain noise floor, and eventually, you could be, depending on how you record, you may be covered in dust and static, I guess you could say, and covered in noise. So it's tricky. There's an art to it, but that's how you can go about getting infinite amount of tracks without a PC. On the channel page, there's a playlist about bouncing. If you are more curious about that, I would recommend checking that out. I did a bunch of different bouncing videos. And actually, I have a video coming out today at 3 that I scheduled a while ago, and it's bouncing between 2 4-tracks, because I have 2. So that's another method of, using, without using the PC, if you have another 4-track. Or another thing to do is if you have a stereo cassette deck and have another, that's what people do too, is take their 4 tracks from the 4-track, bounce it into a stereo mix to a separate deck that has a stereo cassette deck. Boom, you have that stereo mix, and then you bounce that back to the 4-track and re-record over the next 2 tracks because you probably have a stereo mix, and then ad infinitum. Just keep doing that. So that's maybe how Richard Kelly. Wait a second. Let's make sure. Yeah. Oh, sorry, not Richard Kelly. Maybe that's how Richard Swift. They did that. So, I hope that answers your question. If you listen to that particular Oasis track, the snare does sound papery. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, they are literally hitting a piece of paper. And also, it sounds like they're really deadening their snare. I mean, the way to do that, like some of my favorite drum sounds are on Beck's album Sea Change. It's that's a great album, great production, and oh, cool. And that's a great album, great production, and that's where I initially heard about the wallet trick. I don't know if you guys heard about that for snare, where you put your wallet on it, and that really deadens that top head and gives you a similar, like, boxy, takes the ring out. Okay, so Harris, awesome, thanks. Just looked it up. Cherry Peel, that's right. For sure, check it out. Yes, multi-track. I have SM57 and a KSM32, which is an awesome mic. Cool. Pick one of those mics that you got and go to town, man. There's no rules. You could use both. I guess if you want to really, I think maybe make an album where you do every other song. One is SM57, one's your KSM. Or do a couple where you mix them. Who knows? Just experiment. That's how you're gonna learn. Just keep experimenting. Just keep doing stuff. Keep recording. That's really how it's gonna go down. So, okay. Leaving the chat. The dog needs to poop. See you next time. All right, MCF. You might be gone already. Check you later, bro. Will, back again. Hey, Will. Can we start the chain cassette in the UK and then post it over to you guys? We can call it the second British. That's amazing. That's amazing, Will. Yeah. We'll have to get some kind of email list together for that, or start something on the forum, Will. I know Joel would definitely be down. I'm assuming a couple of these other guys, John would probably be down. I think he's over in the UK. Yeah, I would say go for it. And then you guys can get the British invasion started and then send it over. The chain cassette thing, for all you guys that are new to the stream, or new to the stream, we only did it yesterday, but we're talking about there is I guess in Tape Op or Gear Sluts or something, there was a thread about people like a chain letter. One person would a chain letter with a cassette. Chain letter is where you write a letter and send it to somebody else, and they write something and they send it to somebody else, etc. But so with a chain cassette, what we were thinking of doing, or Will suggested doing, was he's going to record drums. He sends it over to another guy, Joel. Joel records the synth or his vocals, sends it over to somebody else. They record a bass. And in this sense, we're all collaborating on a cassette. It has like a life to it, or it has a specific journey that it's taking through different people's minds and different people's styles. And Will could have a drum beat that sounds like this, and he thinks it's going to sound like a certain type of song, and then somebody else brings their take to it, and then in that way it just is completely evolving and morphing. I think that's a sick idea, and we should definitely do that. So that's what that is. We're going to be talking more about that in the future, and figuring out how we're going to do that. So if you guys are excited about that, stick around, and we're going to figure out how to do it. We'll probably do a stream about it or something. JMA, Single coil plus fuzz. He does not look like a happy smiley face. P90s fit nicely in the middle. More windings. Oh, I completely flaked on that, on the P90s idea. That's hilarious. You're right. P90s do fit nicely in the middle. More windings for a less bright sound. Very cool. Yeah, I always wanted a P90 guitar. I had one at one point. It was like a very cheaply made guitar, and it sounded cool, but just wasn't what I was looking for. But I always wanted a jazz master, right? That's with the P90s. But the prices of those have gone insane, and I like the Silvertone. So, Joao, I forgot how to say your name, bud. I'm sorry. R. Stevie Moore, yeah, he's a cassette man. Talk about he had actually like a mail. I think it was like a mail in, or he used to mail people like cassette club, and he would like make a song and mail. That's pretty cool stuff. Talk about lo-fi. Oh, talking about lo-fi recording. I recommend "Smiley Smile" by the Beach Boys. Lots of vocals recorded in Brian Wilson's toilets and swimming pools with minimal equipment. There you go. Great songwriter, great singer, creativity. Boom. I mean, he's recording in pools and toilets, so you know, I think that's a perfect example of this type of thing we've been talking about. John, I'm actually in the deep south, Meridian, Mississippi. John, oh, I'm sorry, man. I must have lumped you in with some of my UK buds who were talking about the live stream. I think you said you had missed the live stream, though. I'm sorry, buddy. So, all right, well, John will have to, when the second British invasion tape comes over the pond, then we'll send it down to Mississippi. It's a smiley face in pleasure, huh? Oh, that's funny. It looks like he's crying or something. Maybe it just went through wrong. That's awesome. But yeah, if you guys are interested in the chain cassette thing, check out the forum. Join the forum. There'll probably be some sort of post on there. There'll probably be a live stream at some point. Like I said, I'm just doing this as a test right now. I'm trying to figure out, what you guys want to do or what works for, people for the live stream, what kind of content we can do on it, what type of hangouts, what type of, I don't know, I'm just kind of testing out the feature. I want to see what it's all about. It's pretty fun. It's really fun. I gotta say, 2 days in a row for me now. And like I said, I got this new encoder thing, and I've just been testing stuff out because I appreciate you guys helping me test it out. And, but yeah, the forum is 424recording.com/forum. You can just lurk on there if you want, or you can join up. It's just a simple forum attached to my website, 424recording.com. And yeah, there's a lot of great info on there too if you're just looking for people or ideas or like-minded ideas on how to do some stuff. So check it out. Axel, I'm sorry, buddy. I thought it said Alex. Axel, currently I use a 424, hence why I like this channel. Thank you, sir. And I'm restoring the belts for my 8-track 488. What are your and the channel's thoughts on the machine, the 488? I'm using mainly analog synths. I personally have never used a 488. I know that it's the 8-track version. I want to get one. I was talking about this yesterday. And there was, I think, Twin. Which one of you guys was saying that you're using the 488? I'm going back through the chat right now to double check. Maybe you guys can talk a bit about that, because I'm not an expert on the 488. Oh yeah, Twin was saying that he's been using his 488. The 424 has been collecting dust. So Twin, if you're still hanging out, I'd love to hear what you have to say. The 488 I have never used. I know it's like the big brother of the 424. Only thing about it I think is a little bit different, or something to keep in mind, is that it's the same amount of tape, but it's squeezing 4 additional channels or tracks onto that tape. So maybe the fidelity is not as good. I mean we're talking about low fidelity anyway. But yeah, maybe the quality of it won't be as good because you're squeezing those 4 extra. You're doubling the amount of recording tracks onto the tape. and the tape is the same width. So I've done some reading about that and research, which I think is pretty interesting. But I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that too. That's the only thing I really know about it. I think it's kind of exciting. Assuming with the 488, because like I've been saying, the Tascams are all mixers and cassette recorders. So potentially, Axel, you could have an eight mic drum setup and record that into a stereo mix. You have more inputs, so that's pretty cool. And I'm assuming you'd be able to sum those all into, much like the 424, where you can pan and bus things to different tracks. I'm assuming you can do that with the 488 as well. So I guess those are my thoughts on it. Where did you get the belts from? Just eBay or something? I want to get one, honestly. I was looking at a couple that were in pretty good condition on eBay, but they fetch a lot of money, and much like Twin, I have too much stuff sitting around that makes me sad that it's sitting around. And but lately I just sold my Strat, which is cool. It's my first guitar, but and I'm sad to see it go, but I wasn't using it, so that money could go toward an Electron, if I'm still gassing for that, or if I decide I want that. But I don't know. So yeah, I think it's important to keep stuff moving along. So personally, as much as I want to get a 488, I don't know how much I would use it. So maybe what I'll do is get one and then use it on the channel and then sell it. Maybe when you guys will want it or something, Or maybe I'll just get one and say to heck with it, and I'll just use it all the time. JMA, I currently don't own a 4-track, but will probably get one someday. What got me interested in them was the band Duster and their Stratosphere album, masterpiece of an album to me. That's awesome. I feel like I've listened to that album, but I can't recall right now. I'm going to add that to my list here of stuff I got to check out. Stratosphere. Yeah, I mean, it's great, man. For me, what really got me into 4 tracks, and obviously it was what we had available. My buddy had one when we were younger, and he was kind of like the recording whiz in the band, and I just always loved the sound of it. And maybe there's a nostalgic element to it for me because it reminds me of being a teenager and hanging out in my friend's basement and making music and recording, and I still like till this day a lot of those guys say that's like the best thing we ever did, which might be true. But there's just a certain quality to a cassette and 4-track recording that, while some people probably don't think it's the highest fidelity, I think it's its own character, it's its own instrument, it imparts its own sound, which is different than the clean stuff of today, or the tape of yesteryear. That's kind of its own thing in the middle. So for me, that's what got me interested in that. That's cool that Duster got you into it. But so, yeah, there's just something about it, and I haven't seen anybody making any kind of plugin that emulates a 424. If there's anybody watching who knows how to do that stuff, again, you'd be filling a pretty big niche if you made a plugin that emulated tape distortion, cassette tape distortion. Maybe there's stuff out there. Do you guys know of anything? I haven't really looked too hard, but as far as I know, there's nothing like that. And as far as I know, a lot of that stuff doesn't. I mean, it sounds like it, but a lot of the stuff just adds distortion. It's like I feel like it's tough to take something that's physical and digitize it. It's never going to be exactly that. It'll get pretty close, but so for me, there's just a certain vibe to it. I think for me, when I listen to 4-track stuff, I just immediately know it's like that's done on a 4-track that has that sound. Something intimate. There's like a little bit of noise. So much stuff today they're just trying to this ominous recording engineers, or a lot of recording. Listen to some modern stuff. It's like everything is trying to dirty everything up because it sounds too clean, or distortion is like an inherent excitement to it. When you hear it, there's a lot of movement in the sound. So yeah, I went off on a tangent, but Dakota, Duster is rad. Check out Horse Jumper of Love if you like them. All right, I'm gonna check that out too. Horse Jumper of Love. Thank you, Dakota. Thanks for coming, Dakota. John, I just got my hands on an Ampex AG440 reel-to-reel from an old AM radio station. I'm looking to restore it. I know nothing about it, but it looks super cool. Does anyone know anything about them? John, check out the forum and see. Jay might know something. This is why I've been trying to get Jay on the live. Well, honestly, I just started doing this yesterday, so I shouldn't say that. But I've been trying to get. Me and Jay are planning to do a live stream. I wish he was here right now. Maybe you could call him or something. We'll get him on the line. But he would be the person to ask about that, because he's the resident tinkerer, like I've said. So if anybody knows anything about that, let John know. And obviously, a Google search could never hurt. JMA, they use some bad tapes with cheaper 4 tracks as well as much nicer reel-to-reels, and you can hear the difference between songs. I did some Googling about the machines and found this channel. Whoa, that's awesome, JMA. I'm really excited that by Googling that, you were able to find the channel. And thank you so much, because that's something I didn't know, and now I'm super pumped to check that out and do some research on that and listen for what you described right there, because I would be really curious to hear the difference in those different types of tracks and different types of recording mediums. So hey, it's all a circle, man. It all it all feeds into each other. So very cool. That's awesome. Axel, haha, I remember playing my song recorded on the 4-track for the first time, and the tiny amount of wow and flutter from the tape instantly hit me like a train. It completed the whole song. That's great. That's great, Axel. I agree. There's something about that. The imperfectness of the medium that is, I don't know. It just works. It's hard to describe. I don't know. Maybe it's not something to think about too much, but yeah. And then there's ways you can intentionally do that to stuff, or change the pitch of stuff, and that's pretty cool. That's a great point, Axel. Will, join. There's a Gear Sluts thread on the AG440 first result on Google. Right on. Oh, cool. Thank you, Will. Thanks for helping out with that. Yeah, that's probably the best bet, John. In terms of gear, I know this Gear Sluts forum is pretty. I think they've been cleaning out some of the older posts or archiving them or something. So I'm sure that would be the place to go, because I feel like when I'm Googling stuff and searching stuff, more times than not, I end up there and find threads upon threads of things. I think that's where I found the Julian Casablancas vocal sound PV amp thing, or story about that. So all sorts of cool stuff out there. So I recommend just Googling when you're obviously Googling stuff is a great way to find out. I mean, that's how JMA found the channel, so that's pretty dope. I'm excited to check out Duster. We're gonna check that out. Maybe I'll do a review of the albums. I'm doing some stuff with. If you guys have been watching the channel, I've been doing I added that to the list of stuff to do in the new year, which is more videos. If you guys don't know or haven't heard, I'm doing videos Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays now. 3 videos a week, and as opposed to 2, which I have to update on the trailer. That's something I have to do too. Now that I remember it, I should probably put that here before I forget. Trailer update. What else was I saying? Yeah, so the schedule is Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 3 p.m. In terms of live streaming, I don't know. I'm going to try to get on some sort of schedule. These past 2 days were sort of an anomaly, sort of a test. I would like to do this more. I think this is fun as hell doing this, and talking to you guys and seeing who's around and what's up. And I just have been having some extra time the past couple days, so. And also just wanted to check this out, man. This is really fun to hang out with like-minded cassette enthusiasts and lo-fi recording enthusiasts and see what you guys are doing, man. Like, I'm finding out so much new stuff about things I didn't know about, and just when you think you know a lot about something, stuff comes out of nowhere to let you know that there's more out there. You just got to dig a little deeper. So, thanks, Dakota, and thanks, GMA. And thank you, Will, for hooking us up with that info. And John, I hope that answers your question. Mike, have you ever worked out the pitch variation on the 424 that's created by using the tape speed. I have a piano that's one note flat. Would be cool to be able to pitch it up with a Tascam. Interesting. Have you ever worked out the pitch variation? I'm not exactly sure what the exact pitch variation is on the the 4-track. Oh, there goes Tim. I think I'm just gonna make a. I was thinking about this yesterday because I saw Tim go by like a bunch of times, and he was gonna be our special guest, but I don't know. He decided. I don't know. He's busy, but well, it's still. I plan on going till 2 p.m. Eastern, so maybe he'll still show up. He's around, but I think I'm gonna make if these live streams continue and I continue to do them in this location, because like here there's just like a big window that I can see out of, and in my bedroom, and it overlooks the parking lot of my apartment complex, and I'm just constantly seeing people walk by as I'm sitting here looking out the window, which is something I don't normally do, because I'm not usually face this direction. But so, but like I said, yesterday I saw Tim so many times because he was doing his laundry and going to the laundry room in our complex, and I think I was going through and looking for the timestamps because I thought it was pretty funny. But anyway, what I'm getting at, this is a total tangent that makes absolutely no sense. But I'm going to make after I have a few live streams, I think I'm just going to make a compilation video on the channel. That's just every time I saw him and what I said. So this will be in there. Okay, so where were we? I got a little off track. Oh, the pitch variation. Okay, so I know that I did that one video that was suggested about pitch variation because I wanted to do that, and also I was curious about the difference in quality from the pitch knob all the way down, the pitch knob at noon, and the pitch knob blasting or all the way up. And there's definitely a difference. If you guys haven't watched that video, it's the one that it's like a yellow background, and it's called Pitch Control to Major Mic is the title of the thumbnail. I mean I could find it, but just look through the old videos. It's in the playlist with all the user submitted videos for the giveaway series, which is a series I need to continue. But I've just had so many ideas lately, so which is good. You know, it's better to have more ideas than not enough. So anyway, Will, check that video out. But what I will say, this is what I've been trying to tell you, Will, but I keep sidetracking myself, is that the I'm sorry. The pitch variation from all the way down to all the way up, I think, is a variation of 12%. I don't know what the difference. I don't know how that correlates to notes or differences in notes. But there's got to be a way for you to put that put it on a new track and then adjust the pitch so that it, you know, if it's did you say it's one note flat? So you're gonna want to adjust the pitch knob, make it faster, or not. Well, yeah, because that's what it is. When you bump up the pitch knob or slow it down, there's a variation of the speed. I think on average of like plus or minus 6%. So when you put it all the way down, that's 6% slower than when it's at noon, and when you put it up, that's 6% faster. And then the difference between those two is 12. So you have a total sweep of 12% difference, and obviously you're going to want to go pitch it up because it's a note flat. So I would say, I don't know how that correlates, I'm sorry, between, which I guess doesn't help, but I don't know how it correlates between notes and notes in terms of like theory and how that works, but I would just try it out and just trial by fire. I think that would probably be your best bet. Maybe try it at, you know, on the wheel it would probably be like 2 o'clock, and then see if that makes a difference and listen back. And then I'm assuming it's going to be somewhere in between 12 and 2. I don't know. I just have a hunch for some reason because I think pitching it all the way up is going to be too fast, I think. So that's a great idea for a video, Will, is what I'm getting at. I'll have to look into that. Maybe I'll intentionally pitch something down, or just try to figure. Actually, that's a really easy video to do. I'll just record something and then pitch it all the way up, and then compare the tuning of those notes, and then we'll go from there. So great idea, Will. I'm gonna write that one down really quickly. What do we say? Pitch wheel notes. I'll remember that video. Thanks, Will. That's awesome. Davia, maybe you have suggestions. I love making ambient swells with volume delay and reverb. Is there a good solid state amp that takes the pedals well? I'm Lithuanian, by the way. Sorry for my spelling mistakes. Oh, no way. Your English writing is better than like most American people's English writing, so I would have never guessed that you were a non-native speaker. So you're doing really well. Like I said, I met people that can't even type with like simple sentences, so you're doing extremely well. And I totally understand, and I don't think there's any spelling mistakes, so great job. Good solid state amp. Okay, I can start with a good tube amp that I know will work. Actually I have two. A lot of the Fender stuff, silver face Fender stuff, if you can find them. Depends. Some of them are a lot heavier than others, but I know my Super Reverb, it's a 69 or 68. So I guess it's technically in the blackface era of Fender stuff, but it's a silver face chassis. But that stuff, and Bassman 100, those are two amps. Those are tube amps. There's a new Bass 100. Not referring to that one. I'm referring to the older one. It's like a 75, I think, is the one I have. But those are great pedal platform amps. So maybe something in the newer Fender, if they're still doing amps. I mean, I don't know some of those new Fender amps. And you're probably on the right track. So I'm already like giving you misinformation because I'm saying tube amps. You're asking about solid state amps. Okay, so the PV that I have, I think, is a cool little amp. And it has a little bit of a distortion circuit on it, which is very cool, and it has a little reverb on it. That's about as far as my knowledge of solid state goes. I'm trying to think what else I used to have in terms of solid state. Do you guys know? Do you guys, anybody watching, know any solid state amps you could recommend that it's going to be good for a clean pedal platform? I would check out PV stuff if you have PV stuff in Lithuania. Because in the States it's super cheap because it's 80s solid state that for some reason hasn't really caught on. And I predict, although predicting the future is a very hard thing to do, but I predict that PV amps are going to be going up in value within the next 5 to 10 years. Because they're great little amps. Some of them are very heavy, but some of them, like the one I have is down over here, it's Backstage Plus, and that's the one in the distorted vocals video. And one I was experimenting with using, and I remember playing one time at my practice space, and my friend came and didn't see what I was playing. I was playing my guitar through it, and he was rocking out, and he was like, stopped me and was like, dude, that sounds awesome. Like, what are you playing through? Is that your, Super Reverb, or is that one of my like tube amps that I have at the practice space? I was like, no, man, this is this PV that I picked up that I got from my boss. He's like, what? Like, it's one of those things. You couldn't believe that it was a solid state amp because it sounded great. So I would try to find a PV, mainly because they're cheap and they're just clean, solid amps. I mean, they're from the 80s, and they seem like the kind of thing you could just like throw down a staircase or throw against the wall and it'll be fine. It seems pretty solid. So I would try to get a tube amp if you're really serious. Well, no, I don't want to say that. You're probably a serious musician. You know what? No, this. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have even mentioned that. If you want to get something, if you want to spend a little bit more money, get a tube amp. They're going to be easier to work on, and well, I don't know. I think they're gonna sound better, but they're a lot more work and effort and a more serious investment. And it'll cost more, but I think in the long run you may enjoy the sound better. And that's why I started off by saying I had an old Super Reverb, an old Bassman, and both of those I used to lend them out to people recording, and people used to borrow them all the time for recording because they were great pedal platforms. But there's a lot of new stuff out there too that I don't know about, so maybe some of these other guys know some stuff. Jazz Chorus. Oh yeah, you guys have been saying stuff. Yeah, Jazz Chorus, Roland, that's like a classic clean amp. Yeah, that's what these guys are saying too. If you can find one, snag it. And test it out. You know, it might be what you're looking for. I think, I'm not sure the weight on those, but that's the only thing is some of the older amps are gonna be heavier. Um, I don't know. Like the PV amp I have is only like this big, but it's got to weigh at least 25 pounds, and it's only got one speaker in it. So, but yeah, Jazz Chorus. That's a classic solid state amp that's going to be probably get you where you're looking to go. So I hope that was a good explanation. I hope I didn't get too off tangent. I'm actually writing you guys from PV headquarters. Haha, I write manuals. What, John? That's crazy. That's so funny. So what? I mean, John, do you recommend any of the newer PV stuff? I have the older PV stuff. I have one older Backstage Plus. So if you have any recommendations, Davey is looking for something that's going to be good with pedals. But like I said, I can't speak too much for newer stuff. I've always gotten kind of like vintage stuff or older stuff, whatever was cheap and seemed good. So that's really ironic, John. And that's super funny. I hope that you don't get caught watching the live stream at work. Let's see. Let me just check my live stream health. That's something I got to do every once in a while. Oh wow, we've been going for an hour and 37 minutes. It's like time flies when you're having fun. 12 of y'all watching. Thanks, guys. That's cool. Live stream health looks good. Yeah. I said, okay, check resolution. I don't know how to do this stuff, so that's something I got to figure out, but I don't want to bore you guys with that. All right, so we're going to close that. Is this live now? Yes, sir. You caught it, Regent. I'm talking to you. I think it's a little bit behind, maybe has a delay. So, but yeah, this is live, buddy. And I know you're in the UK and that you were sad you missed the other stream. So here we go. Tried to start a little later. I'm still testing some stuff out. Still figuring some stuff out on my end in terms of the stream, but I think it's working out pretty well. Yeah, dude, fantastic. Hell yeah. Okay, John says, the only stuff I play is stuff I find in pawn shops. I tell my boss it's research. Nice, man. That's awesome. That's so funny. That's so funny. It's like I'm just like chilling, doing my thing, and you're researching by doing that. That's awesome. I would be curious. What does your boss think about older PV stuff? I mean, how long does he work there? What does he think? I personally think it's great stuff, and that it's going to be, like I said, my prediction is snatch some of that stuff up now because, right now it seems really cheap. You can go on Craigslist in the States. It's like a site where people like put their wares up or put up stuff that they want to sell or stuff in their room. Like if I wanted to sell this thing, I'd put it up on Craigslist and see if somebody wanted it. But so Craigslist, you search PV on there and you can find tons of stuff, PV stuff that's in all different kinds of conditions. Mine I just cleaned out. It sounds perfect. It's great sound. I don't really worry about anything happening to it because it was so cheap, and I know that if something did happen to it, I can go grab another one. If I go bring it somewhere, spill something on it, if I spill my own water on it, if there's a power surge and fries it, like I don't have to worry about it. And on the road or if you tour and you have tube stuff, you got to worry about stuff breaking down. I mean, which isn't too much of a concern anymore. A lot of stuff, the newer stuff. I mean, I don't know though. I mean, I've heard people have a lot of problems with some of the new stuff, tube and solid state. So I don't know. It's all anecdotal though. So your mileage may vary, of course. But yeah, check out some of the vintage PV stuff. Davey, if you have, I'm not sure. I forget where you said you were from, but if you're in the States, check that out. Or if you have similar types of sites in your country, check it out. Like I said, there's so much stuff out there, and only problem with it is that it's heavy. Some of the stuff's heavy. It's just like it's like a paperweight. But some of the smaller stuff, I think I got mine for $50, and it was a steal. Okay, sorry. I need to take a drink here. All right, Regent, welcome, buddy. 11 Regent Street. He was saying yesterday that he was bummed out he missed the stream, and now he is here today, chilling with us live. I think we're gonna go to about 2. We'll see where the afternoon takes us. 2 p.m. Eastern. Let's see. Regent, can you think of any use for tour 4 tracks at the same time? Do you mean 4 tracks at the same time? Or touring with 4 tracks? I think that's a spelling mistake, but I could just be reading it wrong. I talk to Hartley Peavy fairly regularly. Wow. I'm assuming that's the guy who's like the head of PV because his name's Peavy, or maybe he's in the lineage of PV. Like, maybe he's not the guy, but I don't know. I'm just speculating. I don't know anything. He's a really cool guy. The first amp he ever built. Okay, that probably answers my question. The first amp he ever built is actually down the hall. I'll have to take a pic and send it to you sometime. Yeah, man, do it up. That would be awesome. I just think it's so serendipitous that you happen to work for PV and we're talking about that. I want to say that I have no affiliation with PV or recommending their stuff, but I just think it's cool, man. It's like some of that 80s stuff. I gotta admit, the logo, I don't know, man. That PV logo from the 80s is a little. I took mine off. You can see all about this in the distorted vocal video. I think I explain it, but it's a cool little amp. Okay, 2 4 tracks. Okay, that makes more sense. I thought you meant for 4 tracks. I was like, yo, where did you get 4 tracks from? I have 2, and that seems like a lot. How long? Oh wait, okay, Dave. I'm gonna get to you. I'm gonna just be going down. I don't want to lose my train of thought. That happens to me. First amp here. That's awesome. So, John, send me a picture of that. I would love to see that. I have a. Okay, so 2 4 tracks at the same time. Funny you should say that, Regent. I actually have a new video coming out at 3 p.m. today, because my new schedule's Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, about using 2 4 tracks at the same time for something. So I'm not going to reveal what that is. I think if you were here earlier, or people that were here earlier in the stream may know, but I'll just tell you, it's bouncing between them. So one thing that's really cool to do with them is if you don't want to mess with the PC, if you don't want to mess with the DAW, you have 2 4 tracks, just bounce back and forth between them. Same thing with like bouncing with a stereo deck. You can just bounce from one to the next and keep your mixes on one. You can keep the mixes on different parts of the tape to save them or record over them. That's a great use for 2 4 tracks. Again, I mentioned this earlier. There's a band on YouTube called Klingerholt. I'll type it in here so if you guys want to check it out. They one of the guys from that contacted me, and they use 4 tracks live, multiple 4 tracks as an instrument. So that's something I want to get more into, because I usually just use 1 4 track for recording my indie rock pop stuff. So because I'm more of a vanilla user or a traditional user. So, but another way is a performance instrument, having 2 of them and using tapes or recording pre-recorded material. Originally we were talking about the beginning, Davia brought up Alessandro Cortini. He's a musician and he plays with 9 Inch Nails, and he uses the tapes in pretty unique ways. I don't know if he has multiple 4 tracks, but in the same vein, you could use 2 4 tracks to have different pieces, different loops set up on them, and then bring them in or bring them out of your performance. Or you can do some really cool soundscape stuff. I've been looking into ways of hooking 2 4 tracks up together, synchronizing them, which I don't know, in my experiments, that's kind of where I came up with the video for today. It's kind of, I don't know if that's possible. I actually read about Elliott Smith doing that. He would play them at the same time, just like somehow I figured out how to record them at the same time. I think for Roman Candle. I think when I was researching that for the review, read that. So I think that's probably one of the most compelling things that I would try to do with it personally, is use them both at the same time recording and try to line them up, or something to that effect. But again, don't forget, both, when you have 2 4 tracks, you essentially have 2 mixers. So what you can do is you essentially have two mixers. So what you can do is use a submix from the one machine and use that into the sub input of the other. So you can do anything that you can do with two mixers, with two 4-tracks, because they're two mixers. And anything you can do with two recording devices, you can do with two 4-tracks. So there's a lot of possibilities there. I hope that is a good brainstorm for you, Regent. And I'm glad you can make it today. This is great. I have a 424 and a Fostex XR7. I'm always scared about bouncing. Is there a way I could bounce to the other machine? Oh, dude, this is another serendipitous thing. That's what the video is about today. So, and that's kind of what I explained a little bit. Check that out, and don't be scared. It doesn't matter. You know, you'll do it better next time if you lose it. Okay, so how long have you been recording in general, 4-track or otherwise? Let me think. So I guess I really started playing when I was like 16, 17. So what am I now? 30 something, 32. So 3 plus about 15 years, give or take, off and on between 4-tracks and PC and you know, Macs. I started out with 4-tracks and with my buddy's 4-track, and then went to SoundForge and some really old. I forget. I think one of the programs was called like Acid or something. On I can't even remember. My old computer died. I wish I had some of that stuff, but yeah, I went to SoundForge, it was like the editing program, but I had another program. I forget what it was called. Something I think called like Sound Acid or something like that. Maybe one of you guys knows what it is. Sound Factory, yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah. Yes, Sound Foundry, that's right. I knew when you said factory, I was like, that's close. Yeah, Sound Foundry, yeah. That's what I used to have. I went from the 4-track stuff, I guess I was in the early 2000s, to PC stuff, and then, because I think that was like the end of the 4-track era, like the late 90s. I don't know the exact dates, but my buddy had one. I gotta plug my computer in because it's getting low. I have this thing set up over here. Bear with me 1 second. I don't want to lose y'all. Let's see here. You just joined us. This is the exciting stream where a guy is trying to grab his computer charger to plug in his computer before it fails and loses the stream. No, but if you're just joining us, I'm just trying to get my power adapter for my computer because I have this setup over here where I put these things to keep my cables in the way, and I don't really move my computer around that much because I'm kind of a homebody, so you know I don't really do that a lot. But okay, so we're back. Well, we've been here, but I'm back, and my computer's plugged in, so I won't lose anybody. Let me just check my stream health. Seems like something I have to do quite often. Okay, we're good. So stream health is orange. Thanks, Dave. Thank you. You said, by the way, great channel, man. Really enjoy your vids. Thank you. That means a lot to me, man. I'm really glad to be doing this, and it's a fun outlet creatively. It's fun to be able to make something on a regular basis and share it with other creative people. It's fun to hear about your stories and your songs and how you're using your 4-tracks and just finding a cool community of people, like-minded peeps. I was just talking about this with Tim before. It's one of the best things I ever did creatively is put myself out there on YouTube about the past year, and I would recommend that for any of you guys, you know, thinking about starting something, or try it out. It's a lot of fun, and it's very fulfilling for me, and I just love doing it. So Thanks, Dave. Thank you very much. That means a lot. Appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Um, Later was bought by Sony, I think. Yeah, I don't remember the lineage or whatever of Sound Foundry. I used it for a while, and then I think I went to like Reason 3 or 4 or something, and then geez, I don't remember. And then at one point, my computer, I had like two PCs, and they both shit the bed, and then I got a Mac in 2009, and that's the one I use. The first video is actually on the channel, so is that possible? Yeah, I think yeah, I guess that was I had that computer. I still have that computer. It's a really great laptop. MacBook Pro stuff, man, I really like it. I mean, some people say they're too expensive or whatever, but or the newer ones aren't as good. I mean, I got a newer one. It's pretty good. Um, so I don't know. I'm going off. Going off tilt. Going off tilt. Hold on. Let me get resituated here. All right. I guess you could use different tapes for different stages of the process. Amazing stuff. Yes, Regent. Back to your thing. I know we're kind of going in different spots here, but yeah. So that was from a conversation before we were having about using 2 4 tracks. Yes, the same idea with bouncing to the computer is you could save each one of your mixes to the computer and re-record. The same thing with the 2 4 tracks. If you're scared you're going to lose something and you have 2 4 tracks, just use one of them as a machine to save your tracks, or just get more tapes. And when you make a mix of a 3-minute song, you know, if you're really worried about it, put that mix onto the other 4 track, and then you can erase the other tape. You can back it up, and you can also have multiple mixes of it. You can save each stage of the mixing process. If you have first 3 tracks and or first 4 tracks bounce to the other one, boom, now you can save that 3 minutes of your material. So if, oh wait, I wanted to do this now instead of doing this, boom, you'll have it saved, and you'll have as many different histories of your project on the cassettes as you want. You don't have to re-record over them, but you're gonna the flip side is you're gonna spend some money on the tape. And the other idea is you could back them up on the computer. You could bounce them to just like another stereo deck, even if you had a cassette deck, a stereo deck. I mean, that's what people do too. Used to do. I think we used to do that when I was younger. Just use my friend's mom's stereo. I think we used, but we were also. I guess we were bouncing it into the computer though too. I remember doing that for something though, but basically, yeah, you can bounce stuff to like a stereo deck and then save that on a separate tape, and that could just be all your mixes. You could have one tape that's just each evolution of your mix, and then you don't lose it. And then if you screw something up or screw up a bounce or you too much noise from the noise floor, boom, you have a whole saved history of your stuff. So yes, that is what the video today is about. So I just pretty much gave it all away. So you guys, I don't know. Anyway, let's get back here. We got some other comments coming in. Dave, thank you again. What made you decide to take to YouTube? So, for example, yeah, okay, awesome. Oh, okay, I'm assuming that's what I was just saying. But yeah, what made me decide? I felt like I was getting kind of burnt out with music and with like playing live and trying to do stuff with that, and I feel like I had a lot of information, or like I felt like I was talking to people about all this stuff that just didn't have any interest in it. I was like the person where it's like I have so much interest in music, but not like an outlet to talk about it. And the people I was talking about it to, like some stuff they'd be interested in, but like they wouldn't sit here for 2 hours like listening to me about it and talking to me about it with. So I just feel like I had a lot of information. I knew that I knew how to do stuff, but I don't know. Like I just wanted to share that knowledge with people, because for me, in the 15-year process of recording, there's like stuff I was doing when I was younger, and things that I wish I knew when I was younger. And if I could save somebody like 15 years of time trying to figure something out, or 10 years of time, like I'm also just a slow learner, but and it takes me a while to figure out what I want and what I want to do. But that's really what inspired me. And then also, I just noticed that there weren't any 4-track videos, or there were 4-track videos, but there weren't any. So that kind of leads into the next thing. There weren't any videos on how to use like a 424, or how to record on it. And the manual is confusing. It took us a long time to figure that out because it was not pre-internet, but I don't remember really looking at the internet. I remember just kind of like looking in the manual, and it wasn't pre-internet. I guess maybe we did look up stuff on the internet, but basically, when I was that age, I wish there was videos that, it's kind of like the thing where you wish there was something that wasn't there, so you go into that spot to fill it. So I, as somebody who uses a 4-track, or when I started using a 4-track, I wish there was somebody to show me how to use it because it's confusing and it seems like people are into it, and I notice bands using it more again. And so I guess to answer your question, I felt like I had knowledge that I could give to people. I felt like I needed the knowledge. Like it's kind of like a brain dump for me. Like I can kind of stop thinking about all this stuff that I've been making videos about, and like feels good to just like get it out of my head and my brain. I knew that it could help other people to achieve their goals musically, because a lot of the stuff I was figuring out, it was like stuff I was always wanted to figure out how to do. And then, for instance, I keep going back to this, but the distorted vocal thing with the Strokes vocal sound, like it took me a while to experiment with that and figure it out, and then like research it. And I never see people talking about that or making videos about that. And to me, that's something that's super interesting, and if that helps one person figure out how to get the vocal sound that they want to get, then mission accomplished, and it's like that kind of knowledge. Like I don't know, like I've just been kind of changing my philosophy about knowledge and recording, because some people hold this stuff so close to their chest and don't want to tell people how to do stuff. But I was reading this book by Tim Ferriss, and I forget, or maybe it was his podcast. He's a cool guy, and he's like this business dude that had like really humble beginnings, but then he always questions reality and things differently, and it's a really cool dude. And I remember him saying at one point, and this is a big part of the channel too, is philosophy is if you have knowledge and know how to do something, and you tell people how to do it, a certain percentage of those people are going to be like, cool, and not even try it. So like, okay, I think this is what he said, like 80% of those people are going to be like, cool. I might have the percentages wrong, but 80% of the people you tell something to, if you're worried about sharing your secret. So with the distorted vocal, here, hold on a second. Distorting the vocals, right? 80% of the people you tell that to are going to just be like, cool, and think it's cool, and probably not even try it. 10% of those people are going to try it and not be able to do it that well. And then the other 10% are going to be able to do it better than you can do it yourself, and you're going to learn something from them in their process of doing it. And that's going to in turn make you better. So rather than holding that information close to your chest, for instance, I could have just said, no, this is my vocals technique, even though I stole it from another band. And no, I'm not going to tell anybody how to do this because it's my sound, me. It's like this really selfish attitude that is like so prevalent today. And people worried that people are going to steal their sound. It's like, I think that saying by Tim Ferriss is so true. It's like 80% of the people aren't going to care. 10% of the people aren't even going to be able to do it. Or maybe these different numbers are different, but you know what I'm saying. And then there's limited 10, 20% of people who are going to be able to do it better than you can do it, and then you're going to learn from that person, because that person most likely is going to reach out to you and say, hey dude, thank you so much for showing me how to distort my vocal. In my findings or in my research or in my recording techniques of doing this, I discovered X. Maybe that can help you out. And then in turn, because I'm one of those people that is going to take that information and distill it and make it into so that's something going to help me make my music better, I wouldn't have been able to gain that knowledge or learn more or gotten better at what I'm trying to do by keeping that knowledge secret or keeping that to myself. So that's another big reason. I feel like I had all these things I was doing, all these techniques, and techniques I wish somebody had showed me how to do because that's what I like in music or sounds that I like. And then I was like, no. Then I said, well, let me just show other people how to do this, and let's show people how to record, and I'll just save people time, man. It's like, as a kid or, as that younger kid, it's like, I wish there was stuff where I could have saved that much time, somebody could have done something to save me that much time, and if me showing somebody how to distort their vocals like that, even though they could research it and figure it out for themselves, that saves them any amount of time, it's worth it to me. And because time is the most valuable resource on the planet, and to give somebody else more time to do what they want to do, I mean, what more could you want from life? Like that's, I think, one of the most noble reasons to tell people stuff that you know how to do. Saving people time is, there's only so much time you have here, so you might as well, don't be selfish, kids. Don't, share people with the knowledge that you have, and it comes back to you in spades, or whatever they say, in tenfold. I don't know. So that's the long answer. That was kind of a long diatribe, but thank you. That helps me figure out why I'm doing this. But I know that's why I was doing this, but I never quite formulated that or said that to anybody else. So thank you. Appreciate you, Regent. Thank you so much for asking me that, and thank you so much for catching the live stream. Okay, so that was crazy, and I said that for a long time. Let me just check the stream health, guys. All right, we're at 2 hour mark. I said I was going to end at 2, but I don't know. We're having fun, so we may go a little longer. All right, so we're going to take some more comments here. Okay, Axel, I love a case full of tapes. Tough, haha. Have been hamstering tapes last years. Have some metals, chromes, type 1s. Okay. Love a case full of tapes, though. Have been mastering tapes last year's. Have some cool. Or maybe amassing tapes. That's cool, man. Yeah, I mean, try to pick them up if you can find them. And you could use those tapes for all sorts of different things. If you want to make your own tapes, or record with them, or, make, better copies of your stuff, or, archival copies. Fantastic. Thanks, my man. Thank you, Regent. Davia recently bought old micro cassette recorder, recording guitar and glockenspiel in it, and the sound becomes nostalgic and warmer. Is anyone else trying something similar? That's awesome. Actually, I used to have a micro cassette recorder that before I had a phone, iPhone, or like a smartphone that could record. I used to have a flip phone like most people, and before I had the iPhone and could record on that, I actually used to carry around an old micro cassette recorder, and I had tons of tapes. I think I gave it to somebody or lost it. I know. I know exactly who I gave it to and who has it, and I don't know what's on it anymore. It's not a big deal, but yes, micro cassette recorders are cool, especially for demoing stuff out. I used to use like my iPhone to do that. If I have an idea, I'd set my phone up, record to it, and that's what I used to use. Is like this old micro cassette recorder, because you could just put the mic right there, bust out your thing. It was a cool way to get your ideas down quick before the advent of iPhone and also just computer recording technology. Like when I'm have an idea, I want to just like get right to it. I don't want to sit around and like be worried about, oh, is this set up? Is this like micro cassette recorder is great for just capturing something. So yeah, I have experimented with those, and I remember those were really cool. And I think I even released stuff or had a song where it started with my micro cassette demo of it and then blasted into the other part. I'll try to find that for you guys. But yeah, those are cool if you can find them. And I used to use the tapes from my parents' answering machine, so that's even more fun, because then you could take people's messages and make them into something. So there's some ideas for you if you're into that kind of thing. Dave, I love recording synths and also Glock as well as vocals with my old mono reel to reel. I love how warbly and old it sounds. Yeah, that's awesome. It's imparting this quality that just makes it work. Freddie, what up, nerd? Question for all y'all and our glamorous hosts. Thanks, man. I have the 8-track Tascam, have been playing around with, and want to do an EP on it. I have followed the instructions to the letter about bouncing down tracks to others to free up space. It ain't working. Is this me or the machine? Freddie, have you checked out the bouncing playlists on the channel? I did a couple different videos on it. While it might not be exactly similar to the 424, maybe the workflow will give you some ideas. I feel like 9 times out of 10 with this stuff, it is user error. But it might not be. You got something wrong with the machine, of course. I mean, these are old machines that are prone to issues, breakdown. They're cheaply made, but we all still love to use them. So, but maybe try doing a simpler bounce down. Check out the bouncing tutorials on the playlist. I tried to make the channel so that the playlists, I don't know if you guys can see that on mobile, but because I noticed there's a lot of people ask me about videos or like doing video, and it's like I've done those videos, and I don't know if it's me and my inability to put those out or organize them in a way that makes sense. But try looking through some of the old videos, especially the bouncing. I think if you can search the videos on the channel, search for the bouncing ones, and they should give you an idea. I would assume the workflow is similar because a lot, like somebody was saying, I think Twin was saying the 488 is just a bigger brother of the other 424. So, and I got to get my hands on one, but Freddie, check out those bouncing videos. It may be user error, but it could be the machine. I know that may not help, but Regent, no worries. Thank you, bud. Wish I had a synth could create even more atmospheric sound. Do you have any records on internet, Dave? Okay, that's awesome. You guys are doing your side combo. I'm working on EP right now, nothing's posted yet. For the last few years, I've been coasing for indie films and video games, so I'm not using any of those techniques on those. That's awesome, Dave. Very cool. Cheers, man. We'll have a gander back to the videos, let you know how I get on. Thanks again. Love the channel and the videos. Godspeed, my friend. Godspeed, Freddie. Hit me up on Gmail, 424recording@gmail.com if you can't find it, or hit us up on the live stream again, or leave a comment. I'd be curious just to hear how things worked out for you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming through. Davia, check out, I mean, I know there's I think there's free VST synths, which are basically like plug-in synths. I know GarageBand, I think, has a couple. Logic has a bunch that I use for stuff, for like demos and stuff. So, and then they have effects. So if you want to try to find something for free that's not a hardware synth or that could open the door to that realm, check out some VST synths. If you have a PC or Mac, those programs should have something you can use for free without having to drop some cheddar on a new one. Although you might want to, but you know what I mean. That could be an easy way to get a free or cheap one that you could test out. Because some of them are emulator or not emulator, but yeah, they're like, it's like anything else, a digital representation of an analog synth, and then get you there, get you close. Okay, I think we're up to Regent. You mentioned you had a favorite type or tape in a recent video. What was that type or tape again? Regent, check out the videos on the giveaway. They're the $7.99 Studio Master tapes from National Audio Company. They're a little expensive, but they're great tapes. The shell is great, and the tape is great, and it's keeps my machines very clean despite the amount I use them. Also check out the forum, 424recording.com/forum. I think I put a tab on there that's just where to find Type 2 tapes and also where to find those. So it's right on the first page. There's like there's like 5 categories on the forum. So if you guys find any other places that have tapes, leave us a comment or leave a thread on the forum about them in that area or wherever. I'll put it in the right spot. Regine, I really loved your advice about practicing your parts, you nerd. It's kind of obvious, but it's actually really beneficial. Your advice has led me to learning the drums over the past month. Thanks, dude. Thank you. That just proves the point. And that's something I learned for myself. It was like especially with the 4-track, and especially with the tapes and everything, and practicing parts or trying to record something and get it perfect, but messing up and doing it a million times. It's like you're essentially practicing when you're doing that, but you're also practicing while wearing down the machine. So you should practice the parts, unless you're trying to capture some improvisational element. Practice the parts on a separate thing. That's something the 4-track has taught me. Because especially since the way I was trying to do things with vocals was one pass, 2 passes, and you know, try that out, or practice your parts. You know, that's what's gonna make it sound better. You know, to get the drum sound you want, it's gonna be how you're playing the drums. And if you can't play the drums in a way that you want to, if you can't mix the drum kit, you know, having the snare soft or hitting the snare really hard, it's like the classic Bonham thing. You know, if you watch him playing in the live stuff, you know, he is so good at like tapping the cymbals, but like smashing the skins, you know, and playing the kit like a monster, but then like finessely hitting the cymbals. And a lot of that drum sound, a lot of, I think, great drum sound, especially from cymbals, unless you're going for like a thrash band or something, the cymbals really sing when you barely hit them or hit them lighter, you know. And then you also can, because a lot of times with mixing you want the drums to be louder, so yeah, you could just put 8 mics on the kit and then make the drums louder in post, or you could just play the drums way louder and play the cymbals lighter, and then you don't even have to mix it because you're mixing the kit as you're playing it. And the classic thing for a great drum sound, which is the basis for any great recording, is the number one thing you need for a great drum sound is a great drummer. Doesn't matter if you have a great kit or if you have top of the line recording studio. If somebody who's never played drums goes to play them, it's not going to sound good because they don't play drums. So, whew, practice makes perfect. It sounds so cliche. It's not something you want to do. It's not glamorous, but you know, it's going to save you so much time in the end, and your stuff is going to sound better if you can play it. It's like anything else. I'm working on my EP. Okay, that's Dave saying. So thanks, Regent. Logic drummer. Yeah, Logic drummer, man. They can play the parts really well. That's getting better too. I've experimented with using that, and I like using it for stuff, especially as a composition tool and a song tool. Because I know people that are really against the fake drummers and stuff. But a lot of the Logic drums, I believe, were recorded in like a good studio with session drummers, and then the algorithm puts the performances together. If you're not familiar with Logic or drummer in Logic, it's basically a drummer that's ready to jam with you whenever you want. That's pretty damn good. And there are like 12 or 15. They keep adding more drummers, more kits, more sounding kits, more electronic kits, more styles of people. There's somebody who's like a singer-songwriter person. Somebody's like a funk, blast out the funk beats for you. There's somebody who'll play electronic, like Postal Service type of electronic beats. So it's very cool. I think GarageBand has a feature too. It might not though, but what I was saying is over the years of using that, probably from 2015, I think, till now, they've made some major differences to it, and it's sounding better and better and better. And it's a really exciting tool to use if you're just trying to, A, put some stuff out, and B, get an idea of what a certain mix is going to sound like, or just release something. I mean, we have the tools to make great albums and great sounding albums, just like what are you going to do with them? So yeah, Logic Drummer, that's very cool. I really like Logic Drummer for a lot of different reasons, and like I said, it's just getting better and better, so check it out. But nothing beats a real drummer in a real room, but Logic Drummer gets pretty close. I gotta admit, I'm not gonna not say that because that's something I think. You may disagree. I'd love to hear if you disagree with that, but all right, guys, we're rolling up on 2 hours and 15 minutes. It doesn't feel like 2 hours and 15 minutes, but I am losing steam, losing momentum. If you guys have any other quick questions, now would be the time to ask them. We're going to be closing up shop here in a bit. I'm going to go like take a nap with my cat or something, or play some tunes. I hope this stream was really inspiring to you. I hope you got something out of it. I hope that you're going to do something that you want to do today. And I hope that you're doing the creative things that you want to do and seizing the day this year in 2018, because that's what 2018 has been all about for me, is getting out here on a live stream. This is something I wanted to do, and talking with you guys, and talking about lo-fi, and talking about tapes and recording, and I learned so much from you guys just from this one live stream. I have a whole list of stuff I'm going to be looking at and going through, and you guys are inspiring me. And this is exactly what I was saying before. It's like, if I had never put myself out there and done this, I wouldn't have gotten all these great ideas back from you guys. If I hadn't been putting out these ideas to you, I wouldn't be getting ideas back. And it's like, all this stuff is making me better. It's making me better as a musician and a creator, and like learning how to do this, and learning how to do something new, and doing what I want to do, and that's spread the knowledge and inspire other people. So, and get better at speaking and not say every 2 seconds, because I do that a lot, so I'm trying not to do that. So it's all practice. Get yourself out there this year. Thank you for showing up. Let me check the comments. Okay, here we go. Thanks for the bids, man. Take care. Thank you, Dave. Thanks for coming out. Thank you for all your input and ideas and helping out Davia in the chat. That's awesome, dude. I hope to see you soon. Big thanks, you nerd. Thank you, you nerd. Thanks for coming out, man. I'm glad you caught this one. Do you play with tape speed and pitch on your Tascam mic? Yes, Davia. We were talking about that a bit earlier. There's a video that I did recently, pitch control to major mic, where I was comparing different speeds of the pitch control to figure out the fidelity. There's a trick with it where people say if you bump the pitch knob, you can, get a higher fidelity because the tape is moving faster. So it's you're eliminating some of the hiss. So I did a comparison video about that. I gotta incorporate that more. I want to incorporate more stuff like in rock and roll nightclub, not hotel. Rock and roll nightclub by Mac DeMarco. I believe was done on a 4-track, and I believe I was reading something about it, and he was trying to do, I think he said, I'm paraphrasing, but wanted to do more like straight ahead fuzz pop stuff, but just didn't wind up doing that, and then wanted to make this other sort of album where it was like almost sounding like Elvis, or and that's why like some of the vocals are pitched down, and there's there's kind of like the skits where there's like different radio stations, and he really plays a lot with the pitch wheel on that album, I believe. So, and recording stuff slower and faster. So check that out. That's something I want to try to incorporate more, because it's something that a lot of you guys bring up. And Klinger Holt was asking me about that, and thank you, JMA. Thanks. That means a lot. Thank you. I'm really happy to be here doing this. It's fun. Thanks, dude. I'm glad I had something to say that was interesting to you, and I'm not just talking some bullshit here. Thank you, man. That's great. Thanks for listening in and chatting. Of course, dude. This is awesome. Thanks for bringing up Duster, man. Like, I'm gonna check that out. Do you play with tapes? Yeah. So I want to incorporate that more and play with that more, and incorporate slow down stuff, backward stuff. And pitched up stuff, pitched down stuff, and I don't know, see what's available with it. Beck does that too a lot on the earlier stuff. There's like Ween does that, and that's all stuff that's fun and inspiring and just fun to listen to. And oh, here we go. Tim is back. I see Tim walking back with a bag. This is gonna be amazing when I make this video that's just all Tim sightings from my window. I think he's smiling. I think he could probably see me through the window, but I don't know. What's gonna happen is he's gonna probably walk over here after I shut the stream down, and he's gonna be like, "Yo, dude, what's up?" And I'll be like, "Dude, the stream is over, bro. You're gonna have to come back." It'd be funny if he's listening right now. I doubt it. But anyway, so it's gonna be so funny. it's gonna be hilarious. I'm gonna just put up a video at some point when I do like 10 of these or whatever, if I do that many, and just be like, here's all the spots where I saw him walking by. Anyway, thank you guys. Thanks for coming out. I'm gonna be shutting down shop here. I hope there's some good stuff in this. I hope anybody watching this in the future, I hope you're, doing well and you're getting some cool info out of this. Thanks to all my buds in the UK for coming out. Thanks for making me aware that you guys wanted to check it out, because that's cool and inspired me to do this. And thanks for helping me test out. Thanks for bearing with me with my technical difficulties. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the conversation. This is a great way to spend an afternoon off for me, and a great way to decompress. So, and a great way to unload and dump all this stuff out of my head, and hopefully give you guys something out of it. If you want to contact me, hit me up at 424recording@gmail.com. If you want to join the forum, it's 424recording.com/forum. Basically, just stuff about 4Tracks, song recommendations. You can share your stuff on there. You can find info about problems, talk to Jay the Wizard, who should be here at some point soon. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, you nerd. If you're just joining the stream, sorry, but we're going to be shutting down in a second. But thanks for coming out, everybody. Thanks, everybody, if you stuck around the whole time. And this has been fun. Like, I wasn't sure I was going to have the stamina to do this for coming up on 2.5 hours. So, very cool. I get to test out my new encoder. If you want to support the channel, check out patreon.com/424recording. Or if you just want to go on there and look at some of the stuff. It took me a while to make all the rewards, and I had a lot of fun doing it. So even if you just go to laugh at some of the stuff, I think that would be fun for you. And there's some exclusive stuff I've been doing on there. I got to do more with it, honestly. But I appreciate all you guys who have been supporting the channel there. And shop.spreadshirt.com. That's where I got this beauty from. I just wanted my own T-shirt, and a couple of you guys been getting them and sending me some pics. That's awesome. So thanks for everybody who's and thanks for watching. Thanks for being here, and thanks for checking this out. I appreciate you, and appreciate the ideas and all the good conversation. So I think that's going to be about it. Let me just double check the chat. Oh, Joel, you showed up, my friend. Another one of my brothers from the UK. Joel, we collaborated on a song, one of my old songs he loved, and put some stuff on it, and it's actually on the Bandcamp. Oh, I forgot about the Bandcamp. Yeah, 424recording.bandcamp.com. I'm sure if you just Google 424recording, it'll be on there, but you could probably find all the stuff through the channel. I should probably know if you could probably find it. I should just be saying you can find it. Nice, dude. Dude, yeah, send me a pic, Joel. I would love to see your shirt. I know you got the yellow one, right? I'm going to get a couple different ones, because this one is... I've been wearing it like every day, and it's a good thing you guys... There's not like smell-o-vision, because I stink right now, man, this shirt. But that's the beauty of television. Or, not television, but... Well, yeah, that's the beauty of video, man. But Joel, that's awesome. Thank you, dude. Thank you. I want to see you rocking that. I want to see a pic of that. I'll put it up on the Instagram or something. I got the blue. Oh, cool, man. That's awesome. Dude, so what happened? Did you just get off work or something? Oh, you're ace, bro. Thank you. What happened, Joel? I thought you were... I tried to start the stream at noon Eastern so that I could hang out with you, because I thought that was like 5 p.m. I thought you'd be off work. Would you went out to dinner or something? What up, man? Why you dodging the stream? No. Meant to get yellow. Yeah, dude. Yellow's fucking sick. I'm gonna get one. Ooh, man. I'm like, this has been a lot of fun. I'm like, I feel like I was talking so much, I like ran a marathon, man. Ooh. Just winding down here. This encoder is pretty cool. Oh, I meant to ask you guys if the audio sounded okay. I probably should have done that like 2.5 hours ago when I started, so... but if you thought the audio was good or could improve or something, let me know real quick right now. I'm still going, Will. That's all good, man. I figured, there was a couple of you bros from the UK, and I felt like I wanted to hang with you because this is cool that we can do that. And it's a weird time of day stateside, just because it's like afternoon, and there's a lot of you guys around. Yeah, well, I'm still going. I don't know. This is like the marathon session. I think I'm gonna just go to 2 hours and 30 minutes, and then just call it. So right now it's 2 hours and 26 about. So if y'all have anything else you want to discuss for the next 4 minutes, sorry, dude, I was just eating. I knew it. It's all good, man. I'm going to be doing this often. It seems like a lot of people, we're all enjoying hanging out and getting ideas and stuff. And I don't know, I want to incorporate more live stuff, and just learn how to do this more. It seems like a lot of potential to do cool stuff and do more tutorials live or, set up stuff. I'm going to figure out some kind of schedule for it. I don't think I'm going to be doing it like 2 days in a row like this. This was more for the fun of learning how to do it. Oh, maybe I'll just keep doing it though. I don't know. But yeah, I'll figure out some kind of schedule so we know, like, boom, this is going to be when the live stream is. Or I might just go live. This is just fun to do this. How about a live stream where you record a... Dude, that's amazing, Will. How about a live stream where we're all recording our songs, and we keep checking in or something? That would be really cool. That's awesome, dude. Let's do that. That would be cool. I would have to think about how to set it up. I don't think it would be that hard. I guess just do it like this, and there might be some time when I'm not talking to you guys. But Will, that's an amazing idea, my friend. See, this is what I was saying before. It's like I would have never thought to do that had I not put myself out here on this. And now it's like, boom, solid gold, Will. That's fucking sick. Gouda, I want to hear you talk about the Tascam 8-track. Joel, I don't have an 8-track, buddy. I've been wanting to get one. There's been some stuff in the live chat about it. If you can scroll back, about the 488, a couple of users, and I want to get one really badly, but I'm worried that it's going to just collect dust. So I don't know if I'm going to get one. But yeah, the couple things I know about it are the tape is the same width, obviously, because it's cassette tape, but it squeezes 8 tracks. There's some kind of new head that they used, or new head at the time, or invented to be able to record 8 tracks onto a 4-track. So you got to think about that, because I'm sure that the fidelity is not as good, even though we're not in the most high fidelity realm. There's only so much you can squeeze out of a cassette. So Joel, you got to think about it like that. I don't know did you have one? I don't know if you do. But it's squeezing twice the amount of information onto the same amount of tape. So that's one of the downsides, perhaps, of a 488, or maybe it's a plus. Another thing I think is cool about the 8-track Tascam, I'm just gonna have to get one. I'll find one somewhere. I was telling these guys earlier, Joel, that I actually have access to. Jay found 2 414s Tascam, so Mark IIIs. He's gonna give me or let me borrow. That he came across. He found his old one, and somebody just gave him one. Perhaps because of the channel, I don't know. Or maybe it was just serendipity again. But there's going to be more videos on 414s coming up this year. But so yeah, 488. I'm going to get my hands on one, I guess. But yeah, what's cool is that you can. I'm assuming since it's a mixer, 8-channel mixer, now you can sum down the 8 tracks or the 8 channels to 1 track. So now you could potentially record a drum kit or record a live band with 8 tracks, or 8 channels, and 8 tracks, and also add additional with the sub input. So you could potentially do some really big sessions or really big live recordings with people with the 8 one. Although you can do that with the 424, which is something I have to do. That would probably be a cool live video too. Recording a band live, or just like showing a setup or something. I'm gonna have that brainstorm. This is opening up so many new doors in my mind about things we could do. So thank you guys, Joel. I hope that's enough info about the 8-track one. The those are the things I know about it. I know that it's sort of the big brother to the 424 is what twin reverbs are loud said. Um, and I guess it's pretty cool. I'd love to get one. Um, so I'll scour Craigslist and see what's out there. Scour reverb, scour that stuff. What else, Joel? You anything else, buddy? 'Cause I'm gonna be signing off here. It's 2:30, 2 hours and 30 minutes in. So, because you just showed up, dude. So I want to like hang with you while we're still live. But I'm also running out of steam. All right, so do all the things. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, you nerd. See, I'm already like losing it. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, you nerd. Godspeed, my friends. Check out the forum. Grab a shirt like Joel if you want to be cool. Thanks, Joel. Thank you. Joel's always trying to make sure that I'm taking care of myself. He's literally telling me to eat my vegetables and drink juice. So thanks, Joel. Something I definitely need to do more of. I'm drinking water, so that's good. I'll mix something and send it to you later. Do that, man. Love to do that. Yeah, if you guys want to send me stuff, 424recording@gmail.com. You can snag a t-shirt like Joel. You can snag a t-shirt like myself. You can check out the Patreon. YouTube is putting all these changes about monetary stuff, and it's like it affects me, but like I'm just doing this for the love and fun of doing it. But it was cool to have a little bit of cheddar coming in to put back into the channel. But things change. So yeah, if you want to support the channel, do it up. If you want to just be here and be awesome, do it up. It doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna be here doing my thing either way. So I will definitely follow you on Instagram, Will. Swill.jpg. That's cool. All right, guys. So I'm gonna I don't know, go outside and enjoy some of the sunshine that we have here because the East Coast has been pretty miserable the past couple of weeks with raining and snow. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for listening to the live stream. Thank you for all your great comments and ideas. Thanks to everybody who hung out. Thanks to all my buds in the UK who showed up. Joel, it's good to see you. Regent, thank you again for coming out. I'm glad that we could make it work. And thanks for bearing with me through testing all this stuff out because I'm still learning the interface. I'm learning, encoders and learning how to do this. And I set up this background. I think that looks pretty fun. Yeah, so still learning though, but thank you for bearing with me, guys. Thanks for sticking around to the end. If you want to watch this in the future, it's going to be uploaded to YouTube, or I guess it is uploaded to YouTube, and they're going to encode it, or I don't know, put it up. And hopefully the chat is on there. I try to keep the chat, but every time I do this, I'm going to get better at it. It's like my videos, it's like anything you do. So thanks, guys. Thanks for bearing with me. Thanks for being here. This is a new era for the live stream, or for the channel. It's fun. Yeah, we're going to be closing up shop right now. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming out. We're in it 2 hours and 34 minutes, which is crazy, but a lot of fun. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for everything you all do. And I look forward to doing this again very soon. Maybe over the weekend or something. Go on for a little bit, and we'll just do a rap session or something. So, but yeah, Will's idea is great. Thank you, Will. I'm gonna actually write that down real quick. We're definitely gonna do some kind of song challenge one day, or one part of the month, where I'm just gonna turn this thing on. We're gonna start at a certain time. I'm going to be working on a song and trying to complete a song in so much time. It's a new idea we just thought of. Will thought of it, and we're going to record a whole song in, I don't know, I think you could do this for 8 hours, but I'm going to try to do it in maybe 3. We'll have to figure out though, am I allowed to have the song, or are we allowed to have our songs written, or are we going to start this and just write something? I think either way would be fun. But yeah, we'll figure out something maybe on the weekend when we're all hanging out, or off from work or whatever. So I gotta write that down before I forget. Song challenge via Will. Dope. I'll remember that. All right, guys. I'm gonna close up shop. Thank you again for being here. Thanks for showing up. Stream health is good. Damn. All right. Awesome. Am I still going? Am I still here? All right. Hopefully the audio was good. I'm assuming the audio must have been good because you guys are all here. All right. Well, guys, peace out. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, you nerd. And hopefully we're going to get Tim on here one of these days. 2 days without him. After 2 days, I thought he was going to show up. So, does Tim really exist? We'll find out next time. All right. With that, my friends, Godspeed. I'm just like dragging this out. I just don't want to go. I'm having so much fun. Oh, man, this is so much fun. All right. Well, let me put on my exit music. Do something that you want to do today.
Hey mom, keep it down. Trying to rock it in the basement of the crowd. Call the cops, staying up. There's a stripper in the corner waking up. Keep it on the down low. Candy cane, safe sex. I got this brand new favorite cigarette.